It's about that time. Wow, I'm so excited. My name is Dallas Scott, and welcome to Bellagio Poker on the Strip. It is our very first official live episode on Twitch. Like I said, my name is Dallas Scott. I'm your host. The Director of Poker Operations, Mr. Craig Lump, is here with us today. How you doing, Craig?
I'm good, Dallas. Thanks for having me on. This is great to finally kick this off. We've been doing some test streams. It's good to finally hit the air. We've been working on this for a long time, so this is very, very excited.
And my co-host, Mr. John Harden. How you doing, John?
I'm good, Dallas. How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm so excited about this. I feel like we should have a bottle of champagne or something in here to celebrate.
I think we might get there.
We might get there. All right. So we'd like to welcome everybody to Bellagio Poker on the Strip. We got a great lineup of players tonight. We got Dan Salguero, who's from Glendale, California. Mark Ioli is in the – Dan is in the 1 seat. Mark Ioli is in the 2 seat. Mark is a regular Bellagio player, but he's a fixture at the WSOP in cash games all around the country. Mike Del Vecchio just won the WPT event at Rolling Thunder in California, $284,638, and he beat Sorrel Mizzi, who's a 2010 Bluff Magazine and Poker Tournament ranked Player of the Year for 2010. So that's a pretty big accomplishment. Mike plays our regular 5-10 and 10-20 games here in Vegas. Brandon Myers in the 4 seat. Brandon's a regular 10-20, 5-10 player here at the Bellagio also. A lot of you will know Danielle Anderson from Poker Night in America. She's been on quite a few final tables. And we'll talk about some of the other things that Danielle's done coming up later on in the show. Christian Rios is our 6th seat. Dan O'Brien, who everybody knows in the poker world, is our 7th seat, And JJ is a regular Vegas what do you call him? Vegas local. He's from
Vegas
Newport Beach.
Yeah,
he's from Newport Beach, but he's been
here.
Yeah, he's here all the time. Yeah, he's a regular. So
tell us, Dallas, what it looks like the cards are in the air. What game we got going today?
And today it's going to be a 2-5-10. As we talked about before, for our live Twitches, we're going to do 3 blind games, 2-5-10, no limit hold'em. We do allow straddles here at the Bellagio, not on the button, unless it's straddled to the button. You can straddle a straddle here. So this is going to make for a lot of interesting action.
And the reason we went for the 3 blind game to kick this off.
We want to make some action.
You know why? Because we're telling them all our live streams, the test streams coming up, we did not have one hand that was not straddled.
Yeah,
so let's make it the game.
Let's make it the game. Yeah. So we started with a 1-3 game in our test streams. It ended up being a 1-3-6 game, 1-3-6, 12-24 game. It got kind of out of hand. First hand of the night, Danielle Anderson.
The straddle's on already, so they're putting the 20 up front.
Oh, one other thing we got to tell you guys is they are playing $50 ahead, deuce to 7. For those of you who don't know the deuce to 7 game,
told us they're playing the deuce to 7 game.
For those of you who don't know what the deuce to 7 game is, anybody that wins a hand with deuce 7 deuce gets $50 from everybody else at the table. I love this game. Unfortunately,
it's certainly going to stir
I
up
always
some action.
lose the hand with 7 deuce, and I always end up paying other people who beat me with 7 deuce. But I do love the game. It creates a lot of side action for the game. Looks like one thing you'll notice too is that on the table you'll see the players have chips in cups. Those are our Bellagio reload cups. The buy-in for this game.
Again, let me interject here, Dallas. This is something that originated in our test streams.
It did.
The reload cup is gaining popularity, so the players at home know, viewers at home know that those chips aren't in play because it's not within the buy-in, but they're likely to end up in play.
They will definitely end up in play, yeah. So anything that they have in the cup is not in play, but they can pull it out anytime they're under the $2,000 max cap buy-in. Our normal 5-10 is $400 to $1,500, but for this game, because it's 2-5-10, we kind of met in the middle and went $400 to $2,000 is our buy-in.
Same, but it's 500 minimum.
What's that?
500 minimum.
For what?
This game.
For the buy-in.
Oh, which is 8? I don't even
500
know.
2K. It's the same.
We'll get you up to speed.
Thank you.
Not a soul in this game is buying in for the minimum, I promise
Nobody bought in for the minimum, actually.
Yeah, the irrelevant fact is what is the minimum.
If you look at Mike Del Vecchio's reload cup, he's got about $14,000 in there.
You can never be too careful.
No, so
fresh off the tournament win.
Yes, he is definitely going to, It must be nice to win $284,638 and beat Sorrel Mizzi heads up.
I'm under the impression they're friends, so, it was even more sweet.
Sure. He got bragging rights for a very long time. All right, we're going to get this hand in play here. Looks like
the straddle's not on for the whole orbit. Danielle put it up for the first hand, and Christian declined the next opportunity, but hopefully we'll get it back on here again. Got an open and a 3-bet in position by Danielle. Oh, no, in the blinds.
In the blinds, yep.
My first bit of commentary, and I'm incorrect. How do you like that?
Welcome to the profession, John. Welcome to the profession.
Thank you very much.
Of course, you can comment. We do have moderators on our Twitch feed right now.
Yeah, please let us know.
Yeah,
What
what you
your
think.
questions. Hit us up on Twitter. We'll try to get to some of your questions as the stream goes on. We get the action going. So.
And Bellagio Poker on the Strip is brought to you by the Play MGM app. Your chance anywhere in the state of Nevada. All you got to do is download the Play MGM app, and you can bet sports anywhere. You're coming to town for the World Series of Poker. You don't have to get up and go down to the sports book to place your bets. Just download the Play MGM app. You can do it all from your phone as long as you're within the state of Nevada.
So we did have an interesting comment here from the chat. They said this is not close to the biggest game in Las Vegas. Guess what? They are correct.
100%.
We have some big games going on right now. There's some high-limit action. Bobby's room is going. So yes.
We actually have a 25-50 no limit game that has a $25,000 min buy-in, which is not our normal 25-50 no limit game.
They kicked it
but
up.
They kicked it up today, and because they had some VIPs in town, so they wanted to play for real money. So we have a 25-50 game going on right now in Bobby, no limit hold'em game in Bobby's room with a $25,000 minimum buy-in. And then we have a 300-600 mixed game going on in there. We have a lot of action at the Bellagio, and then we have 2 10-20 no limit hold'em games also. So we're going to see a flop here for one of the first times.
This folded all the way around to the $5 middle blind who completed. Dan raises, Christian calls, jack high flop. Here we go. Pair versus pair in the blinds.
Dan's probably going to continuation bet here. The board's kind of wet with the hearts and the jack nine bringing in a lot of straight draws. And he should. Looks like he continuation bet to.
About a pot-sized bet.
Yeah.
And wins it.
And Christian folds middle pair there with a queen kicker. Wow. That's.
No hesitation.
No.
I got to be honest. I've never had Dan O'Brien on my direct left. So I don't
fair
know.
Fair enough. Yeah. And he's in the tight spots between Danielle and Dan O'Brien. It's kind of. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not there. I'll say that. Yeah. It's a really tough spot.
But he looks comfortable in the spot. I mean, first hand there makes a good fold.
Yeah. You'll also notice that we have a lot of action, I guess, in the Bellagio, because we have the cheapest rake in the entire world. We've talked about this on our test streams before. I mean, our 5-10 game is $7 a half hour. I mean, where do you get a rake like that?
Nowhere else.
No. I mean, even our 4-8 game, we don't rake $4 to $80 is in the pot. I mean, that's 5% rake on a 4-8
We like to
game.
call it player friendly, right?
Player friendly, yes.
That's what we're trying to do. Fold to the button and a raise from Danielle here. With any two cards, such as
she should.
The 6 of diamonds, deuce of spades.
She kicked it up with the 6 deuce.
Wins.
Oh, and got Christian to fold the better hand with the 8 deuce. Well done, Danielle.
The night is early. We'll see some guys playing back at each other here soon enough.
Yeah. This is like a boxing match right now. It's early on. People are trying to feel each other out, see where they're at. They're going to do some 3-bet. We're not going to see a whole lot of flops in the beginning here because everybody, even though some of these guys know each other, they don't know how they're going to play on the live stream. They're all having a couple of adult beverages, so things might get loosened. Are going to get loosened up here very shortly.
We got a comment on here from the viewers from Travis. This is the greatest dealer I've ever seen. I'm going to give a shout out to our dealer, Nathan, that's in there today. Top-notch professional.
Very top-notch.
We picked him. He's locked in for the night. He's with us for the duration as long as he doesn't get too tired.
Can we tell Nate, or is his head going to get so big the camera gets
that he's going to have to parties here on the other side? All right.
Danielle opens the cutoff when it folds to her, wins another $17.
$17. Wow, I wonder what she's going to do with that. So Danielle, she's actually she has quite a life outside of poker. Also, she's very big into CrossFit. She just took third place at the intermediate level CrossFit Festivus Games this over the weekend. Yeah, she's very proud and excited about that.
How big a field they get for those kind of things?
Oh, there's 140 people per thing. So she was, she was very excited. She did really well. She got third place. First time she's ever been on a podium, she said. So Danielle and I have some common history because she's from Minnesota, a town about 50 miles from where I grew up. So we've kind of known each other for quite a long time. And our paths have crossed at different card rooms throughout the time.
Danielle puts in a lot hours here at the Bellagio.
She
in the
is.
5-10 games. She's a regular customer. If you're out here playing, you're probably going to run into her.
And guys, if you have an ego and you can't handle being beat by a girl, then you might not want to be on her table.
There you go.
We've had some issues in the past where guys have had their feelings hurt because
you're probably going to get your feelings hurt.
Yeah.
The straddle is on in this pot. Under the gun, Brandon opens to 70. Dan O'Brien on the button has the king-queen, just lets it go. Early in the night.
Wow. See, they're just feeling each other out there. I think maybe later on in the night, Dan might be willing to call that hand on the button. But the other thing is, maybe he knows something about Brandon that we don't know. Or maybe he's played with Brandon quite a few times before, so he's got some information, and maybe he's just kind of wanting to see where Brandon's at right now. And it was actually
So
a great
three-way to the flop there, and then
Just goes open, call.
nobody.
9-9-4 on the flop. Nobody hits anything, looks like.
Yep, and JJ bets out his ace queen and wins the pot. It's a good bet by JJ there. I mean, ace queen is probably good on that board more often than it's not. Probably 80% of the time. Yep. You're not expecting somebody to call a raise with a 4 there, or even
Was he the pre-flop raiser too? The other guy's call.
Yes.
Sorry, what was the question?
Was he the pre-flop raiser?
No, Brandon's under the gun to the straddle, opens. JJ calls.
So JJ flatted him. JJ flatted him out of the blinds,
blinds,
small out, and then let out on the flop.
On the flop. Yeah.
Hopefully we get the 20 on for the duration.
Well, the 20 is on right now. Brandon's got the 20 on.
I think most of the guys in this lineup, excuse me, Danielle, are going to be in favor of putting as much money in.
Yeah, very much. These guys generally play a lot bigger. They play a lot of 25, 50, 50, 100 no-limit hold'em games.
I think they're going to kick up the action pretty good one way or another tonight.
No
doubt there's going to be some serious action. Not too many flops to get started here, but I think as the night progresses, I think as the champagne starts flowing.
I was going to say, I think you should buy them all a bottle of champagne. Let's to loosen them up, Greg.
I think I'll do that.
Can we send out a message to get them a bottle of champagne?
I think we'll get that done.
All right, let's get them a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, let's get this game going.
All right, we're going to see a flop here. 10-7 of spades from Mark and 10-8, which is my favorite hand by Brandon. They're going to see a flop.
Yeah.
They both completely miss.
Folded to Mark in the big blind. He raises the straddle. Got one defender check, or just bets it and takes it down.
Mark was the small blind though, wasn't he?
No. Brandon was in the straddle. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He was
it's a 3-blind game.
He was the 5.
Yeah, he was. And he continuation bets and takes down the pot, of course. Standard looks like the standard raise here pre-flop is about $40 in this 5.
With the straddle, they've been opening 70, and the other hands it's been 40-ish. So we'll see.
There's going to be some action in this pot again.
Absolutely.
You'll notice the reload cups on the table, which I think is we got a lot of great feedback about those when we were doing the test streams.
Mason Jersier just commented that the room looks different from the last time he saw him, that they took a table out. Yeah,
we did. We took out table 8 so we could have this Twitch table here. And when you come in during the World Series of Poker, it's actually going to look different because we add tables to the room to handle the huge amount of business that we do during the World Series of Poker. All right, we're going to see. We're going to see a flop here. No.
Yeah.
What's Brandon going to do? And he's going to fold.
That's a walk for the straddle. Is that correct? I believe so.
Yeah. No, Danielle raised. She won $17 more.
Takes down the blinds.
Yep, she takes down the blinds. You'll notice that these guys are pro players, and they're not going to play a lot of pots with Danielle either. I mean, I hate to just say female player because I think it's not fair to female players, but she's one of the best players.
Period.
I've seen play poker.
She
puts in a lot of hours, and her mental game is incredible.
Pretty fearless, I would say.
She is very, very much. And her ability to read people is uncanny. She's very Negrano-like in that aspect of her game. Oh, Christian's waking up with kings here in this hand. This hand might have some action. We got ace 10, ace 9, king. We're gonna see if we got some action.
So this has gone straddle and a raise under the gun with the 2 kings to $50, or is Danielle in the big blind?
Christian raised it up to 50.
Oh, now I understand. There's small blind, big blind, and under the gun is the $10 blind per our graphics.
Right.
Okay, so yes, Christian is under the gun, opens for 50. Makes more sense. This looks like Mike Del Vecchio has 3-bet the small blind.
Yeah, it looks like he made it. Did he make it 200? Yeah, Mike made it 200. This is going to be 200.
Just a flat of the 2 kings.
Flat from Christian here. See what happens on the
Wants
flop.
to play a small pot with kings, which is a very good theory. A lot of people do that.
Top pair.
They don't want to get
Mikey hits his 10 here.
Yeah, they don't. A lot of people don't want to, play a big pot with kings just because any ace hits the flop. They want to be able to get away from the hand cheaply. So Mike leads out for
this looks like 240-ish.
240, and now Christian just flats there.
Bet call. Now, with the top pair on the turn, what do you do in Mike's situation?
I think Mike has to continue firing, right? Oh, he's going to check back. He's going to check.
I mean, you got to give some respect to the guy to opening under the gun.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And calling the flop on or calling the bite on the flop there.
Now it looks like it's the bet is
on the flop.
340 is the bet on the turn. 330 is Mike going to get away from the top pair here?
That's a pretty small bet. It's only about a third of the pot.
It's going to be interesting. Mike's going to tank here for a minute because there was no raise on the flop, which was a great play by Christian. So Mike's got to believe his 10 is good here. Maybe he's putting Christian on something like 8s or 9s and thinking that they're good. And the river card is
a mystery.
goes check.
Three of hearts. Oh, heart comes off on the river, so they're going to check the flush draw there. Right. That makes sense. Perfect sense.
Mike gives up. Good spot to give up.
Yeah. And Christian's going to take down a pair. Big pot. Nice body with king. That's going to, I think, make him our chip leader for right now.
Seems to be the biggest pot we've seen yet so far tonight.
It's got to be comforting to win that one off the bat.
Yes, for sure. You get your nice little, $1,500.
I mean, I think, and I'll yield to you guys on this one. I think Christian was probably starting off the night maybe a little cautious with the king.
He was very conservative there. Yeah. There's probably multiple ways you play that. You either flat there and hope the ace doesn't come, and then you play the hand after the flop, or maybe you 3-bet and just take down the original 200.
Well, no, the problem is when Mike 3-bets out of the blinds, you've opened under the gun. If you just not cold, but if you 4-bet there after opening under the gun, it kind of polarizes your range.
Right, for sure. You're not going to get any more action out of the hand for that way. And he's going to win 200. Now, this way, he ended up winning $700 out of the hand because he just flatted. So Brandon's
fold around to the small blind.
Brandon is going to raise
Suited
here.
king, put the money in.
Yeah, he's going to raise here.
Looks like 60 or 80. $80.
Because the straddle is on. Dan O'Brien straddled here for 20.
Might just pick it up. I don't know.
Oh, Dan's got a suited ace there. He may think that's
anything's fine here.
Right, because they folded around to Brandon. He could be raising with any cards. They're just trying to pick up the blinds and the straddle. So Dan's going to, is he going to 3-bet this hand, or is he just going to flat here?
Looks like
Maybe
a call.
He's going to flat.
Take a flop.
And we're going to see a flop of 10, 6, 7. Completely missed everybody. Brandon's probably going to continuation bet here, right, and then win the pot.
Most likely. We'll see.
If he checks, does Dan O'Brien bet the ace high? No, check.
Yeah, the problem is with the 10-7-6, there's a lot of hands in the big blind defending there.
The straddle, for sure, that he could have defended with the straddle.
Obviously, they're going to crush king high, but we'll see.
Looks like we had a check out of Brandon there. Do you think he's giving up the pot here? Is that what's going on?
I think so. I think. Oh, and Dan checks back the pair. I don't know what he thinks that Brandon may have here now. Brandon's going to bet his king high.
Queen on the river now. Brandon bets.
Got to bet it at this point. Give yourself some chance to win the pot.
Right, and Dan's probably going to think he does have the queen here, right? Because he checked it twice with the pre-flop raise. You can have anything like queen jack, king queen. His range there is so wide, and the fact that he's betting the queen. Dan's going to give up the deuce. Yeah, Dan's going to fold the best hand there, which is the correct play.
Found a low-risk way to win that one.
When I first started learning to play poker, I ran into Daniel and Granu.
Hey, Dallas, look at this. Champagne on the table. They're kicking it off. Cheers. Hey, this is cheers to our first live stream here, Bellagio POTS. This is our first one out of the gate. Got a great lineup here.
So just so you guys know, Craig Lump makes things happen. He said we're going to have champagne. We got champagne there. That's beautiful. That was quick, too.
Yeah, that wasn't
impressive.
Pretty quick.
Director of Poker Operations, you got some pull around here, don't you?
Sometimes.
One thing people should know, though, so when they come in here, there are two Craigs who are managers in here. Because it gets a little confusing. Yeah. So the worst thing is that you guys are both Craig L.
Right.
So we have Craig Larson, who is our swing shift manager, and then Craig Lump is our poker room manager. Craig Larson's been getting a lot of people coming in trying to talk to him about
getting seats on the
game and stuff. And he's like, no, wrong Craig. If you want to play here at the Bellagio for the pots, cheers, everybody.
Yeah, there we go.
Salud.
How come we didn't get a bottle in here? That's what I'm a little jealous right now.
Well, we have to leave ourselves some room for improvement. I just wanted to point out,
the night is young.
My name ain't Earl, just said John Harden is the GOAT. I appreciate that.
Clearly he has no idea what he's talking about.
Is that your brother?
He is now.
So if you want to be
is that your wife at home on the stream checking in, just feeding your ego a little bit?
She can be anywhere she wants to be as long as she's not playing in this.
So if you want to come out here and you want to be on the Bellagio Poker on the Strips, send us an email at poker@BellagioResort.com. We're going to do 5 weeks straight here. Then we're going to take some time off of the World Series of Poker. We'll come back towards the middle of July. If you're going to be in town, send us an email at poker@BellagioResort.com. Not resorts, it's Bellagio Resort, singular, and we'll do our best to get you into the game when you come out. Danielle's got she's got a call $58 here with 9-9. She's probably going to make this call. Actually, it looks like she 3-bet.
No, Dennis opened under the gun with the two threes.
And Daniel 3-bet to $210.
Yeah.
Fold.
most
JJ's probably
likely
going
ahead
to fold to A7 here. Yeah, he doesn't. He knows that's no good against.
Haven't
Danielle.
seen much out of Dennis so far. Let's see how cagey he can play this one.
Let's see what he does here. Is he? Do you call it? Do you think you can call a flop here and try and set hunt for?
Yeah, I mean you're deep enough. Dennis bought in.
Well, he
for
only
less.
bought,
He only bought in
for
for 1,000.
Yeah.
So Dennis, Dennis, a great story here. He's a weekend player. He doesn't claim to be a pro. He's an aspiring guy to be a pro. But he sent us an email. He said, "Hey, I want to play on the stream. I want to go up with heads up with the pros," and was willing to take them on. I mean, this was. This is going to be a lot of people in the streams like this. Oh, shout out to Aria, Director of Poker Operations, Sean McCormick. He said, congrats on the stream in the chat. Sean, thank you. He was back here at Bellagio back in the day when we started this project.
He actually hired me here.
Sean hired you?
Yeah,
Yep,
Sean
very
hired
good.
me, yeah.
He was a great team member over here, went over to Aria. And so thanks, Sean, for the shout-out. We appreciate it.
Wow, I feel so bad.
Mikey
I
woke
looked
up
right
with
to the
aces
chat.
here.
I didn't even see what happened in that hand.
Mikey woke up with aces here, early in position. He's gonna make. It looks like he raised a 50, maybe
60 with the straddle.
Danielle's calling with
The suited ace.
This is a tough spot. Well, the good thing is there's no aces out, so Danielle's not going to get caught paying off an ace hand here, right? Because Mikey's got 2, Dennis got 1, Danielle's got 1. So there's no aces here.
It's probably going to be hard to play a big pot here post flop.
And Danielle and Mikey are actually really good friends, so they know a lot about each other and how they play the game.
They put a lot of hours
They
together.
a lot of hours together. So let's see what happens here on the flop. Oh, Dennis did call with the ace-7 of hearts too.
Yeah, more the merrier.
2 spades, king deuce of spades, 10 of hearts. Mikey's probably going to win this hand here with just a bet. Nobody should have a reason to call here. Looks like he bet $110.
110 into the 200 change.
Yep. Danielle folds. And Dennis folds.
Easy.
Now he showed him the aces. I think Mikey wanted a little more action there.
Yes. A little disappointed that all the aces were out and nobody could catch an ace with him and play a hand. Or even a flush draw there. Looks like everybody's enjoying their champagne, thanks to Mr. Lump here. Again, I'm a little jealous. Can we at least get a vodka tonic or something in here?
Maybe after the show.
I think your show would be so much better if you were drinking. I'm just saying.
The real question is this.
That's week 2, guys.
Right, okay.
There is enough room in this office for a kegerator, is there not?
That's about all we have room for in this office. There we go. All right, sorry, we had a little technical difficulty here, and we couldn't see anything. We had no idea what was going on. All right, looks like Dan is
folded all the way to the small blind.
Dan,
Fold.
fold.
This is running the risk of giving a walk.
Oh, we got a 7 deuce. Can Dennis win a hand with 7 deuce?
They are playing. They got the 7 deuce on.
They got the $50.
If a player can take it down with 7 deuce, he's going to win $50 from every player in the game.
That's $350.
It looks like the 20 and the 40 was on here.
Yeah.
And Dennis just opens cold to 200.
He wants to
take it.
He's
got to show it.
He's going to show it.
Boom!
There it is.
Pay me my money. Pay that man his money.
The money's flying.
Yeah, that's an easy way to pick up $350.
You know, that's just the perfect textbook setup. You've got 2 blind hands to your left that have put money in the pot. No one contests it before it gets to you. It's are you going to fold it there?
Nice little shot of room there on a Wednesday evening here at Bellagio. Looks like they're going to start up a new game there, starting on that empty table. Just a typical night in April. We got all the action in the world. Some big games going on. You can't see those on the stream, but
maybe we need to put a window in there so we can see in the Bobby room from here. You know what I mean? Craig, you might want to work on that. Let's see if you can really get things done here. Like champagne is one thing.
We'd have to take the painting down.
Fair enough. For those of you who don't know, there's actually a really expensive Lehman Marcus painting in Bobby's room.
Yes.
That it has all the
kid
greats.
because it's not coming down.
Right. That the painting, no, literally, like I believe somebody told me the painting was like $350,000 to have done or something like that. It's painted Doyle, Chao Zhang, Chip Reese.
Their likenesses.
Yeah, their likenesses. It's a great picture. Even Lyle Berman's in that picture. It's an amazing picture.
What's really funny is the guys joke around about the people that aren't at the table but right behind about who the real bird is.
Right.
Oh no, that's not me. That's you.
Right.
No.
So we've got some requests in the chat for Andrew Neeme So I heard one of my workers over in the sportsbook told me that he had some kind words to say on his vlog. I haven't seen it, so I'm going to thank him on the air that he had some words to say about our stream coming up, and he was excited about it. So Andrew, get in touch. We appreciate on the comments on the blog. Did you see
I got you. I've been in contact.
Okay, cool.
What do we got
here? He just flats here with 20.
Just flats in the cutoff, the straddle? Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting play there. I mean, maybe he knows something about Mark, or that he thinks he's going to 3-bet out of here at straddle, or
Christian
Mikey.
flats, and then Dan opens his button with one limper in front of him. Suited ace seems fine. And there's a 3-bet.
3-bet from Mark. That's Mark
got the queen jack offsuit.
Makes
it 340.
Because Mark thinks that Christian doesn't have a hand here because Christian limped, right? And then Dan, he thinks maybe trying to squeeze or steal the pot because he's raising there on the button, which is the right play. He doesn't want to play the hand against the blinds and a hand he can't.
Obviously,
range.
Dan's going to open a little wide.
Right.
What do you guys think? We get a re-raise out of Christian here now that it's been open?
It's very, very possible.
Oh, wow, he folds.
Decline.
He folds ace-king. Wow.
Maybe he's thinking with the open on the button right behind him. He's
and the 3-bet out of the blind makes Mark's range shrink a little bit, but we would think that it would make Mark's range shrink a little bit there. Dan's in the tank here.
It's real tough to open your button and then just give it up, so he's probably going to.
And he's in position to play this hand. He's going to play the ace-4 clubs in position. I'm going to see a flop here.
Head up, flop of nothing.
3 of hearts, 3 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds. Mark should be able to continuation bet this hand and win the pot, right? Dan's not going to call him here with no draw.
That's a tough float unless you're just going to take control and put a whole bunch of money on.
If he could 3-bet here though, right? He could raise here. Yeah, he could raise here and hope that Mark whiffed the pot and that he was going to take the pot down. But Mark's bet wins and Dan folds. A lot of things going on here at the Bellagio and in MGM Grand Casinos. You notice that Chris Brown is coming to Las Vegas.
MGM Grand Arena, May 20th.
Yeah, along with 50 Cent and Fabulous. Going to be a great show. Tickets are available. You can go Ticketmaster.com to get those tickets. You want to come out to Vegas anyway, you want to hang out, you want to party, let's go to the party.
So tell the viewers that we'll try to highlight some of the stuff going on within the company, not just within poker here from time to time like this.
MGM Resorts is a very broad, vast company. I mean, we have all the Cirque du Soleil shows. We have 3 arenas. Well, 3 now. We have the T-Mobile, the MGM. We have the Park Theater. We have Mandalay Bay. We have a lot of stadiums and concert venues.
Dallas, you're going to love this question on the chat here.
Yeah.
What's up with the chips in the plastic cups? Give them the rundown.
Oh, come on.
This is your favorite.
I love this. So we were doing our test streams, and one of the guys didn't have any pockets in his clothes, so he brought all of his Reebok chips and put them in a cup.
Was he wearing an evening gown?
No, he was wearing sweats. He didn't have any pockets, so he couldn't put the chips in his pants. So he asked for a cup, and we put a lid on the cup, and we became with the reload cups.
The chips aren't in play.
The chips are not in play. But anytime you're down below the $2,000 max buy-in, we can add the cup. We can add the chips. You can pull the chips out of the cup. You can't see really, but Mike Del Vecchio's got about $14,000 in his reload cup.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
I think so. So we're going to give a warning to anybody coming. Not a warning, but if anyone's going to come up and play the stream in the next 4 streams after tonight, we suggest bringing your personalized Reebok cup.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So anyone coming up, I know we got Ryan LaPonte's coming on next week.
Yeah, Ryan's going to be here. Ryan, you won 2 bracelets last year?
Did he really?
1 or 2, I'm not sure. We'll talk about that with him next week. But anyway, he's coming up with the next stream. Anyone else coming up in the next 4 weeks, we suggest you bring your Reebok cup.
Yeah. And you can put as many chips in there as you want. They're not in play, though, until they come out of the cup. And they can't come out of the cup until you're below the max buy-in. Looks like 2 King Jacks here. Did Dan fold King Jack here under the gun? No, he's in middle position here. We folded King Jack. Wow. It's going to be an interesting hand. Danielle's by far got the best hand here. Is she going to...
Walked all the way to the 10? Yep. Just going to get a walk here? Yep. Must be nice.
She keeps winning these $17 pots.
I couldn't get a walk in a 1 blind game.
Here's another good one, Dallas. Reload cup is BYOB.
That's right.
No, we have them here. If you want it personalized, I suggest bring your own.
You're actually gonna work on getting our very own fancy Bellagio reload cups.
Yeah, I think
it ended up being just something that happened on a fluke in one of our test streams.
Can I
people
bring
loved
a
it.
jock strap to hold my chips?
If you come to
As long
play
as
in
you're
this
not
game,
wearing
you
it.
might need one to hold your chips. I'm just saying.
Corey,
Maybe
you
if
are
somebody
correct.
brings a jock strap to hold their chips, we put them heads up against Danielle.
I don't. That's not a good deal for either of them.
All right, Danielle's got the king jack again. Dennis has got king queen.
She should be in the 10
She's
here.
yeah.
It's a raise. Oh, no straddle this time. Folds to Dennis in the cutoff who opens. And another 3-bet out of Mark.
Yeah, Mark's being a little aggressive here. He's showing that aggression can take down pots, even with not a great hand here. We don't know what Mark's hand is here, though.
I thought it showed King Jack for a second.
We got
but
a
I might
mystery
have read
hand
it
with
wrong.
Mark's hand here.
Yeah.
Danielle's going to
Danielle's
fold her
folding
king
the
jack. Now, Dennis is on the button. Am I correct?
No,
he's
Dennis
on
opened the cutoff and Mark 3-bet his button.
Yeah, so Dennis is probably going to fold here, right? Or does he think he knows something about Mark to
Any
make him
option's
call
fine
this
here.
up?
I mean, it's hard to open King Queen and just let it go just because the button 3-bets you.
This is one of those hands, though, that like a lot of pros don't like to play this hand out of position.
I just don't like to play the hand. I do when I have to, but
Right,
there we go. Just a flat.
He's going to flat call. Because I feel like it's a very dangerous hand. Because a king flops or a queen flops, do you really believe that you have the best hand there?
Perfect flop
Perfect flop.
for Mark.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what he has. He should be able to win this pot.
But is he nervous that maybe Dennis called him with something like an ace-10 or maybe an ace-9 suited and ace-jack, something that he would normally raise in the cutoff
Here's my
with?
guess, though. If he does check to him, though, he's gonna bet and potentially take it down. Yeah, and he does check to him. I don't see Mark.
No, he's been very aggressive in the hands that he's played, so he's probably going to continuation bet.
Just
Wow, that's
sets
a
him in.
big bet.
So, I mean, okay, Dennis only has what looks like 1,100 effective.
And it looks like Mark put him all in.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Dennis's stack currently about 700.
the 3-bet was to 150, so there's about $340.
And Mark bet 1,500 here,
Just
so
rips
he's
the rest of it in.
He's just putting Dennis to the test here.
You know, Mark could have a huge hand here. He could just have flopped a set and just hoping
do you
that
think-
Dennis has an ace.
Do you think if Mark had flopped the set there, though, that he would have bet that
Is he going to
much?
show it?
Seven
Seven
deuce.
Deuce!
That's
Oh!
the flush draw. One way or another, I'm getting it through.
He got a
Even
straight
better.
draw, flush draw there, and he gets his $50 back that he had to pay Dennis the last time.
There you go. In case you guys aren't aware, they do have the 7-deuce game on. If you win a pot, showdown or not, with the 7-deuce, it's 50 a
bucks.
man.
$50 per person, so you're
So
going to make
there-
$350 just for showing down the hand.
So the 7-deuce of diamonds on the button, there's a little bit more at play than just being on the button with the 7-deuce this one time.
So, like I said, we
Well
got a
done.
lot of things going on here at the MGM casinos. Lady Gaga's coming to the T-Mobile Arena along with Train. And Lady Gaga's going to be here Friday, August 11th. Train is coming with AOR and Natasha Bedingfield Friday, May 12th. Chris Brown, we talked about, is going to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena May 20th. For you country music fans, Brent Eldridge and Tyler Farr are going to be here Friday, the 28th, which is that this weekend coming up? Yeah, I think it is. They'll be here this weekend coming up at the T-Mobile Arena also.
Going to give a shout out to Censormatic. They said about time we get poker streaming from Las Vegas. We are not the first in the world, but we are the first in Las Vegas and Nevada for live streaming cash games here.
Cash game, yes.
For cash games, very excited. We're very proud of this this project.
This is a long time.
Right,
This took us 2 years to get going, right?
It took 2 years to get going. It's also taken about 2 years off my life, but I'm happy to do it for you guys.
There was a lot of work that went into it that even I wasn't aware of, was there not?
There was been a decent amount of work to get this off the ground, but it's something we're very proud of that we can have out here for the poker community, and should be a lot of eyeballs on Twitch to get to see the Bellagio Poker Room, which is exciting for me as the director of the room. This is a really good opportunity for more players to come out and play, to come play on a live stream, and also if they can't be here this week to come check it out. So
This might be a
again,
big
if you
turn
want to
card
play,
here.
your poker at BellagioResort.com. Send us an email. We stream on Wednesday nights. Let us know when you're going to be in town, and we will try and get you into our games. We're getting a lot of requests already. This is our first live one. We did some test streams that people saw on Twitter and started sending us emails. Actually, one of your assistants, Craig, was like, "Hey, why do I have all these emails in my inbox?"
We've been getting some work out of
yeah,
it.
yes.
So Dennis has opened this pot, been defended in the blinds by Danielle. They check the flop.
The flop.
Danielle makes 3-8s on the turn against middle pair and bets it. And it looks like Dennis might have to pay this off on the end if he.
He's going to think the
calls
king 10, his 10
turn
is good, yeah.
Yep.
And he
call.
does, and Danielle
Shows him the hand.
Not a huge pot, but big enough.
A bet on the flop here, though, might not have saved Dennis, though, right? Like,
No,
she
absolutely
might
not.
have called here thinking
Yeah.
he was continuation bet, because he would have continuation to bet a hand like king, queen, maybe even ace, king there, right? So Danielle, checking the flop probably saved him a little bit of money because Danielle's probably calling there with the ace kicker.
John, looks like we got a shout out. John and Craig are awesome. Good job. They must not know us very well.
Sick hair.
We are
bro.
amateurs. This is our first time
You
learning.
know,
This is our first time.
I
We've had to learn how to commentate along with our host of the show, Dallas Scott, who's taught us about a thing or two. So
Sick
we're
hair,
having
bro.
a lot of fun with this.
Sick hair, bro. Are you who I think you are? That's what I want to know. I don't want to out you on the chat, but I'm pretty sure I've got a good read on who it is.
Maybe it's somebody we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pay a lot of people to come on here and say really good things about us.
It's working. It's working.
All right, so we're going to be back to the action here. Looks like the button is – where is the button here?
All right, now I'm just hurt. I can't read this chat anymore.
Those of you watching at home, Jen, greater than John in the chat. That is John's lovely wife. The chat thinks is clearly better than he is.
All right, Brandon has got the
He's
7
embarrassed.
deuce. Can he
He's
win
just embarrassed about that.
Brandon's
7
raised
deuce.
pre-flop with the 7 deuce. Oh, and he's getting called by a 7-6. His hand is completely dominated here. JJ's got a 9. This is kind of a wet board. Brandon
He might be able to take this down, though.
with a bet.
I mean, we know he's going to continue.
He might. I don't know if he will continue.
JJ's
here.
just
JJ's going to
taking
lead
the
out
lead here.
Wow, that's a good bet by JJ. He flopped.
The
He flopped
stone
middle
dead
pair.
read.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon's got the 7
7
deuce.
deuce.
Give me this pot. Brandon doesn't want to give it up.
He wants to win this hand. He wants to know if he can raise here, and JJ will fold. No, he's got to fold the 7 deuce. You see him bite his lip there. He wasn't very happy about that. That bet by JJ cost Brandon an extra $350. They are playing the 7 deuce game. Anybody that wins a hand with 7 deuce, shown down or not, they get $50 ahead from everybody else at the table. So 7 times 50 is $350. Easy money if you can win with the 7 deuce. Brandon tried and couldn't do it. We've seen 2 7 deuces win already.
Yeah. I can't imagine
We've had 3 so far. That's a pretty good start for the 7 deuce game.
I can't imagine anybody's just going to fold it. Just say, not this time. I'm pretty sure that
unless it's a
time
big
they're gonna try and
3-bet
rip it in.
pre-flop or something. I agree with you. I don't think anybody's folding 7 deuce pre-flop here, unless there's some big betting.
No, not these guys. They're ready to play.
Well, sick hair, bro. Whenever you come in again, say hello so I know who the heck you are.
Again, if you want to play here on our live stream, poker@BellagioResort.com. Send us an email. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll send you a bio. Fill it out. Get back to us. We got fold around to the button here with Dan O'Brien. He's probably raising with any 2 cards here, right?
Not a bad play.
Dan O'Brien has been around poker for about 14 years now, which is interesting to me because he says he's 32 years old and he's been playing poker for 14 years. I don't know where he's from originally, but he calls Las Vegas his hometown. Maybe he might have been playing when he wasn't supposed to be. I don't know. 14 years, that would have made him 18 years old. Dennis has got king here.
I bet he was playing in college, just like the rest of us, 14 years ago.
Yeah, in the basement of friends' houses.
And Dan, I've known Dan for a long time because before I was the director of the room, I did a lot of work on the tournaments, and Dan's a tough tournament pro.
Dan raised $70 with ace. This is going to be a hand.
Yeah.
Notice that Mark's got one of Dan's 8 though. So set
one out to find
set
the
mining
floor.
is going to be hard here.
There's a king dead and an 8 dead in this pot. I'm assuming.
So Dennis 3-bet to 180. That's not. I think it's a 3-bet. It is. So Dan's probably going to call here and go set mining, right?
Absolutely.
Especially
if not, I mean, he might just put the 4-bet in.
Oh, Dennis only has $233 behind. Dan might put him to the test and just put them all in here, right? And of course, if he does, Dennis is going to call with kings.
It prevents you from making a mistake if the 2 8s are the best hand. You just put all the money in straight away. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
And I mean, when he 3-bets to 180, he's pot committed here for the other $233.
That is, if that graphic. These are all estimates, so there's a good possibility that we're a little wrong about how much he's got behind.
And
I can only
Dan
assume
just calls
he does.
He just flats there.
Maybe we'll get a shot of the 1 seed here, and we can get a better estimate of how much effective he's going to play.
Oh, he flopped a set of kings. How much is he going to? How much do you bet here, or do you check?
Oh, he's got a check, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
The thing is, it's kind of a wonky thing to 3-bet and then check. I mean, it's becoming more common.
Okay, Dennis has a little bit. I can see his chip stack now.
Yeah,
Dennis
it looks
has
like he's got 500-600.
Yeah, he's got more than
Unless-
230.
Yeah,
He's got more than $233 behind here.
Yeah, it looks like a graphic
he
is wrong.
could
Yeah.
have as much. Well, he did win the 7 deuce,
Right.
so that's.
Ah, that was it.
But then he lost the hand to Mark. He's going to bet the set here, which is kind of a tricky play because a lot of people think that you would check the set there, right?
Yeah, it's real tough to 3-bet and then check a flop like
And
that.
Dan folds.
And Dan folds. Probably.
So let me
put
ask you
mine
this, guys, because I'm not the strongest player in the group. That's not my role. But with that board being kind of a drier board, is it a spot where he could check?
Absolutely.
on. But it's dry, but it's not. I mean, there's a flush draw out there. I mean, do you want to? What do you do there if you call? If you check and Dan checks behind, and now a diamond comes off on the turn.
But let me ask you
Or
this.
or a straight card, a queen jack 10, all that
Would-
freezes your action, right?
Would Dan peel there with a flush draw, or would he bet out and give him a chance to check
No.
raise?
I mean, you're probably after getting 3-bet, you might be worried about the check raise.
Right.
If I have a flush draw in position there, I'm taking the free card.
I'm taking
if
the
it's
free
offered.
card, of course. But and if a diamond comes off the turn, he doesn't know that Dan doesn't have an ace of diamonds in his hand or something. So now he's giving Dan a reason to call.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. How's the feed looking there? The Twitter stuff going, John? You look like you're always smiling when you're reading it.
Yeah, well, that's just because I have no clue what's going on in general that I'm smiling all the time. It's kind of a nice way to go through life, honestly.
Just smile and nod your head.
Yeah. We've got some requests for Ronnie Barta reading The Raven.
I believe
rapping
I'm
at
not
my
100%
door
sure.
in
I
Boston
believe Ronnie
accent.
Barta is first up for the game.
He is first
so
up for
if
the
someone
game.
goes bust, if we were going for a little while, he's on our list.
Ronnie Barta. I saw Mr. Silva in the room earlier today.
Yeah, he's been hanging
Jesse?
out.
Yeah.
Main event runner-up. What year was that? Anyone?
4 years ago?
4 years ago.
Something like that? Not just dead sure. It looks like the live 40 was on here.
And it folded.
Danielle's got the option with the live 40 and checks it. Nobody's got too terribly big a hand. Got a nut flush draw. We got overs. That's
Mark
about it.
checks his flush draw.
Yeah, he might be looking to check raise the field here. I don't know. Free card.
Which gives
Brandon's open-ended.
and it gives Danielle the funky straight with
Yeah.
with the 8 on the bottom, which would actually hurt her because Brandon would make the bigger straight.
Looks like Brandon let out there for 100.
Brandon picks up the open-ended and leads. Mark's
Going
going
to call right
just
here
call,
with the nut flush draw.
keeping this pot relatively
And nut
small.
flush draw and a pair.
Yeah. Brick. Board pair.
Mark has the best hand, but
Yeah.
can Brandon take him off his hand?
Mark might just lead here, too. I don't know.
I believe Mark already
no.
checked. So the action is on
Mark
Brandon.
might think his hand's good here.
Yeah. But, I mean, you don't want to bet, get raised, and have to make a big call with the third
Big
pair.
big bet from Brandon, 280.
So, I mean, if you're trying to, control the pot a little bit, just checking and calling.
Checking
the
and
third
calling.
pair is perfect. But, there's
Especially if you think you have the best hand here. You don't want to give somebody the opportunity to take the hand away from you, right?
Yeah.
There's our answer. Jesse Sylvia. We're talking about World Series of Poker runner-up. 2012, second place to
Has it
Greg
been 7 years?
Greg
Merson,
Merson.
yeah.
Mark makes the call.
Who's actually really good friends here with
Nice call, Mark.
one of our guys here went. Man, I'm bad on my notes today. Actually played with Greg Merson and in college at Maryland, and so they're like.
Oh, that's
really
Dan.
good
Dan
yeah,
O'Brien.
Dan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. They're,
See, I told you they were probably playing
Yeah.
in college.
They've been playing together for a long time. And that's one of the things Dan's very proud of is the fact that Greg won the main event, and he feels like he kind of partly got some of that because they learned how to play together. They
Yeah.
talked about the game together.
Sure.
They came up playing poker together, teaching each other. So it's a big accomplishment. Looks like Mark is our chip leader right now with $3,100.
He's been pretty active, so.
He has been. He's been very aggressive, and he did win the nice pot with the 7 deuce with a monster bet on the flop.
Well, you flop the wheel draw, flush draw, and you've 3-betted already. Be rude not to continue.
Hoping that Dennis made a pair there, and he didn't.
Yeah.
All right, Christian's got 8. He calls here. Dan's going to call with pocket 4s. Do you like
we've
this?
seen some very. I mean, Mark's been quite active and completely in line in every move he's made so far. Christian's had some hands. It seems like he's playing pretty tight. Am I correct?
He's a little snug. He's a little snug. He folded the ace-king pre-flop to the 3-bet from Mark. I mean, it ended up working out for him because he whiffed the flop anyway.
What if that's his usual style? If he's picking up something, wait for a hand. I mean, I'm curious what he's doing.
Sometimes people get on TV and tighten up a little bit. Sometimes they get on TV and
go the other way.
And get loose, you know.
Like I said, we saw that in some of our test streams when 1-3 game players turned into 1-3-6-12.
24, 48 players.
Sure.
Yeah.
5-handed turn here in a little orphan pot where Christian's picked up a gutter.
And
Mark's got a gutter. No, he's got open-ended. Excuse me.
But Christian has 2 of his outs there, the 8s. Is Christian going to call here? I mean, he might think that 8s are probably still good, right? Nope, he's giving up the hand. I think
Mark might just win it here. Yeah,
and Dan's going to fold. Yeah, too many overcards for Dan. Like and even if he does have the best hand, the board is now wet. There's really no reason for him to invest chips there unless he's going to raise and try and take down the pot right then, right? All right, Danielle is going to be the 10. So we're playing 2-5-10 blinds tonight here at the Bellagio. Don't forget about our Bellagio Cup poker tournament. This thing is huge. Chance Cornuth won last year, or was he second?
That was a couple years. That was 2 years ago for Chance.
The only guy I remember that went deep, I know.
Nick Schulman.
Nick Schulman was second
last year.
I thought Chance won last year. I'll have to look it up.
Chance, former Bellagio Cup champion.
But Chance was at that final table. He made that final
table. That's that final table last year.
Sorrell was at that final table also. Yep. Sorrell Mizzi. $10,000 buy-in, July 13th to the 18th. We allow you to register for the first 3 days.
3 days. This one's a little different than 5 Diamond because some players get knocked out of the main event.
Right. Some players are still playing, so we give you a chance to, if you do bust out of the main event. And first place last year was over $700,000. Yep. So, I mean, yes, it's not the World Series of Poker main event, but it's not too shabby with $700,000. And then, of course, we have our 5 Diamond in December. We had the first time ever on the WPT where first and second place were over $1 million.
Yes, new record. That was the biggest World Poker Tour 10K,
biggest 10K
in the biggest 10K in history. We tied our friends over at Commerce for the biggest one in history. We thought we beat them, and then we got bad intel.
Stone tie.
Wow. 791 was 2000. I want to call it 7 at the LAPC, and we matched it last year, which was a great turnout. Like you said, first and second place both paying over $1 million. And
we have a lot of bragging rights here because the final table was stacked with our regular players.
Yeah, a couple.
Jacob, James. I'm trying to think of who took second now off the top of my head.
Ryan Tosick.
So, like, those are 3 regular Bellagio room players. They play our 5-10, 10-20, 25-50 games. It shows you the type of level of competition that we have here at the Bellagio. If you want to play with the best players in the world, this is where you come. Our 2-5 games, I take our 2-5 players against any other 2-5 players in the world. Like, it is a very tough, action-filled game.
Don't scare everybody off, man. Come on.
But, see, I don't think it scares people off because I think you want to play against the best in the world, right? If you think you're good at poker, you want to play against the other guys, the guys who think they're the best. You think that that's why Dennis is here right now, right? Because Dennis saw our live stream.
Yeah, Dennis
he knows we have some of the best players in the world that plays here. He believes he can play with them. So he sent us an email, says, I can play with them. I want to be on that stream.
Yeah.
So if you think that's you, hit us up at
and he made no calls about it. He says, I'm going on there. I'm taking on the pros tonight. He was on Twitter.
He's very excited about it. You know, like he can play against the best people in the world.
Sure.
And he believes it, and that's why he's here. Now, some of these guys, like normal, everyday, casual poker fans might know, but other poker players know them and respect them. Fair. Danielle Anderson gets so much respect as a poker player that that people don't want to play against her because she's so clever and so tricky with her game. And she's a consistent winner.
Speaking of
for like 10 years in a row.
Right here we've got Mark open the cutoff and it folded to Danielle in the blinds with the 2 queens. She's 3-bet. They've now check the flop.
Oh,
and Mark has made 3 sevens on the turn.
And Danielle's got to think queens are good here, right? Because it's check.
But the other thing is, Mark might be cautious here that she could have checked back the set of
kings,
jacks or the set of kings.
Looks like Danielle bet $130.
Yeah.
Mark's calling here, right? Like
he could
he's
raise.
Calling or raising, but he's not folding the hand.
I mean, I assume barring some disastrous river card that he's going to put a raise in on the river.
On the river.
The
heart backdoor flush draw got there. So now that might slow down the action a little bit. Danielle might think if Danielle checks, though, Mark's going to bet, right?
Absolutely, 100%.
He has to think the 3-7s are good there because if he thought she was betting one of the flush draws on the turn.
She does check.
She checks. And if Mark bets, he's probably going to get paid off because there's no reason why she doesn't think that queens might be good here.
If you fold 2 queens here, you might be folding too many hands. That's the real problem. So this might be a spot.
It's not a very. It's almost a bet screaming fold because it's a quarter size of the pot, right?
And by checking one street, they've both managed to control this pot relatively well.
And yeah, Danielle's going to pay off the hand.
Crying call.
Yep, and
Yeah,
be mad she didn't bet the
You
flop.
can tell she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's probably cringing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you get beat by any ace-high flush draw. The 10-9 gets
And, now,
there.
and here's the thing, though, too, that people – we were just talking about what a great player Danielle was, and they see how this hand was played, and they're like, well, maybe she's not that great. But she did something
they're wrong because she is that good.
but she played this hand to control the pot.
Yeah.
You know, with the overcard out there. She's got an under pair to that overcard. She controlled the pot and didn't lose as much money as she possibly could have in the hand. And that's what being a great player is about.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, too. She knows, and I'm sure she's played a ton of hands with Mark over
they
the
play
years.
so much together.
He is certainly capable, as we've seen, of leading out there.
Yeah.
And
This is what I guarantee you she'd say if she was back here right now is, I'm absolutely fine with losing that pot, but I'm not real happy about losing it to that hand.
That's very exactly. Like she controlled. Being a great poker player is not only about winning all the time, but it's about minimizing
right
your
decisions.
losses. You know,
Your loses.
your loses. Daniel Negreanu talks about all the time playing tournaments and playing small ball. He doesn't play a lot of big pots in tournaments. He plays a lot of small pots and collects chips.
It even precedes that, when you go back to the super system where Doyle was talking about, you just you're aggressive in all the pots and you win all the orphan ones, and therefore you have the chance to gamble in the big ones with the orphan pot profit that you have. No disparaging any orphans here watching the stream.
Yeah, any orphans with internet and laptops.
Yeah.
So no, she played the hand very well and lost the minimum in the hand.
And here she's gonna defend her blinds against the early open from Dan.
And
So
she has a queen of diamonds, so
so
she's
when
got the second nut flush draw here. So she's anything. Oh, she bets out.
Leads.
Yeah. And then does he think the 4 diamonds is good here? Does he think that she's betting because she has an ace with no diamond? This is going to be an interesting hand to play here.
This is what it was.
So I talked to Danielle and Dan both before the streams, and they're actually very good friends, and I'm sure they've played a lot of poker together. So it's going to be interesting to see how this hand plays out, knowing that these two have a lot of hands played against each other. I think some on some other live streams as well.
Yeah,
lets it go.
Yeah, he lets it go.
I was wrong. He was in the straddle. Gets his option, raises it, and then she just leads on the ace.
She show him the bluff there too.
No, she didn't.
She turned it over.
Danielle's not. She's not a shower. She's not. She likes.
Doesn't show the hand.
No, she likes to make you pay for the information. Yep. She's been pretty. Her and Mark have probably been the 2 most active players in this game today, right? We haven't really seen much from Mike Del Vecchio. Brandon's
surprisingly so, I would say. But he may pick up some hands and might not have found some spots yet. But
if I was sitting at the table, boy, where would you really like to sit? Who do you want to sit between in this table?
I'll deal this game. I'd be perfectly happy.
Yeah. I'm capable of sitting in our dealer Nathan's seat. And that's about it. I certainly wouldn't want to take my chances against these guys.
My no limit hold'em ability peaked in about 2008. So I am at best the small dog in this line.
2 years after mine did. So
I'm glad you brought up no limit hold'em because one of the things that's great about Bellagio is that we don't just have no limit hold'em in our room.
Absolutely.
We have 4-8 is our lowest, with a half kill is our lowest limit game. We have 9-18, 20-40, 40-80, 81-60, 100, whatever limit game you want to play. We have that for you. We also have mixed games, and we just had our very first mixed game, $25,000 buy-in tournament mixed game. And Daniel Negreanu took second place in both tournaments. But we did one on Tuesday, one on Monday, and one on Tuesday. And Negreanu took second in both of those. 25.
Yeah, we had
that field was stacked.
Let me give some credit.
Ben Lamb won the first one.
I'm going to give some credit here to my host here, Dallas. This was his. He took the ball and ran with this event. I didn't think we'd get too big of a turnout. I will admit that. I don't mind admitting that to everybody. I didn't think it would be quite as successful as it was. Give us the rundown. The first day, 25 players showed up for 25K
on a random Monday.
Monday.
It was great. We had Jesse Martin come. We had Jesse Martin.
The field was stacked. I mean, it was a who's who.
Ben Lamb won the first day. Daniel Negreanu took second. Then the second day, Daniel Alai won, and Daniel Negreanu was second. So Negreanu had a great Monday, Tuesday.
Just a great, typical Monday, Tuesday. We ran the tournament in Bobby's room.
Yeah, it was an amazing tournament. We had a great run. Uh-oh. It's getting good on. Apparently, the comments are getting good. So no, this is and we're going to do another one of those. We're doing it the weekend before Memorial Day. We're doing
Correct.
it. Monday we're going to have a $10,000 buy-in mixed game
Tuesday
tournament.
is
10 game.
20.
It's a 10-game mix.
10 game.
And Tuesday is going to be $25 buy-in. $25,000.
$25,000.
Big difference. $25,000 buy-in. They play horse, PLO, single draw, deuce, no limit, triple draw, no limit hold, and a PLO.
Yeah.
I'm missing one.
No, that's horse, no limit hold'em, PLO, deuce, Badoogie is what you
Badoogie,
missed.
yeah. So they it's a great 10-game mix. If you got $10,000 or $25,000, you want to come play with some of the best mixed game players in the world.
There's going to be some
come join us.
serious action in there.
And it's going to be a tournament we're going to hold once a month from now on, because the players really enjoyed themselves. They really had a great time with it. And just so you know, if you do come play the 10K or the 25K, we do buy you dinner. Thanks to Mr. Lump here, he's going to buy you probably a nice steak.
Now,
dinner.
I'm committed now.
Do you have to make it to the end of the day, or can you just railbird after you get busted out and still get dinner?
I think given the caliber of players and the buy-in they're playing, we'll buy some participants
Fair
at dinner. I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
So if you want to play in that event, that's going to be the weekend before Memorial Day, and then that goes into our Aria, our sister property Aria has a super high roller tournament.
The following week, the 25Ks that they get going. Quite
and
often
we've kind of
over
scheduled them around them because a lot of players like to play the mixed game. The Highlander players like to play the mixed game. So we kind of put the reason we do it on Monday, Tuesday is because they play the super high roller no limits Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it makes sense. People will come into town, be here for the entire week, and have a great time playing poker.
Yeah, you include the hotel bill and the re-entries. It's just a nice week where you can just smoke off 200,000.
Easy.
So we got a question from PFox164. How can I play on this show? That's a great question. Please send us an email at Send an email to poker@BellagioResort.com. We're taking lists for the upcoming streams. Tell us about yourself. Tell us why it'd be interesting to see. We'll try to get you. We'll fill up some seats coming up. So there's the answer to your question. How do I get to play? We have taken some players. Some of these players are known regular players that wanted to play that we spoke with for the game. But then Dennis, for example, in the one seat today, sent us an email. Look, he's playing.
Dennis saw one of our test streams on Twitch and said, "Hey, I want to play. I can play with these guys." And now he's here playing with these guys.
PFox mic it in. I'll only play if I can keep my chips in a plastic cup. What do you say,
Yes,
Dallas?
the reload cup.
The reload cup. I think we're going to keep it.
Yes, of course. We got to have the reload cup. For those of you who are just joining us late, during one of our test streams, we had a guy come in who was playing. He didn't have any pockets to put his reload chips in, so he decided to just put them in a plastic cup, and everybody kind of fell suit.
We got a flop here, boys. Brandon's opened under the gun. Dan just flats on the button, and it's middle set against top pair. This might be, depending on what the turn comes off, there's a lot of clean turn cards available. This could be an interesting pot.
What about a 9 on the turn or a jack on the turn? How much money does Brandon lose there? Or Dan lose there? He's got to think top pair is good here. He's always going to continuation bet top pair, right?
So it goes open to 70.
It's a really
dry 60.
It's really dry board, so there's no reason why Brandon has to play the sixes big here, right?
Well, I mean, he opens under the gun. I just go bet here. I mean, your opponent with the hand he's going to want to take the showdown is probably going to check any opportunity he gets to check to him.
Looks like he bet 300 here, 200 here.
200 here.
He bet a very small amount on the flop relative to the size of the pot.
Yeah,
he's betting like half the pot, a little less actually.
Does Dan still think the jack is good here, or does he think maybe that Brandon like raise there with like an ace queen or king queen? Now hit his queen.
It's very possible.
This is a tough hand for a lot of amateur players to get away from, right? Because you're thinking that the guy's continuationing betting constantly. Now, Dan called him. 4 on the river, which is a nothing card because he's not going to put him on a 3-5 here or anything like that. There's no flush out there.
Makes it another tough card for Dan.
Dan's got a lot of cards that he can.
And
he's got a lot of rivers that his hand he can turn it into a bluff here because he knows that Brandon's going to bet a lot of different hands here. He's got position. He's flatted him twice. He can show a lot of strength and, a big hand by putting a raise here. Brandon might not give him the opportunity by betting
600.
a third of his stack. He might just be committed here. I don't know.
This is gonna be interesting. Now, what's going through Dan's mind right now? Is my jack good? Right? Is a 9 kicker good? Like what? There are hands that he could have, like a jack 10, a king jack, ace jack, a king queen, maybe raised with a queen 10, got lucky on the turn, continuation bet. There's a lot of hands that Brandon would have raised there, right? He's not putting him on. Do you think he puts him on a set of sixes at all?
I think the other thought that might be going through his head is, how do I win this pot because I'm pretty sure my hand's no good.
That's a very good point. Like, maybe he doesn't believe his hand is good here. So can he raise and take Brandon off the pot? But Brandon's only got 700 behind, so he's pretty much pot committed himself. And I think Dan knows that, right?
Yeah, but the question is, do I think Brandon has a one pair type hand? Because you can put a lot of pressure on that hand.
Right. You could represent, if you think he's got a one pair hand, you could represent something like Queen Jack.
I am betting that Dan gets off the hand here.
Yeah.
I think he's going to.
I actually believe you. I think
might just be saving face here, taking a little bit of time.
No, I don't think he's saving face. But I mean, he's got a tough decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as tough as he is, I think he's going to find the fold.
He's getting 3-1 on his call here, though, with second pair, which is kind of another thing that is the pot odds too enticing here for him to fold.
Just an interesting spot.
Yep, he's folding. He's lifting his cards. I bet he's folding now. He doesn't like it.
No.
He's going to watch this one when he gets home.
Yeah.
Oh, he pays
calls.
off.
He calls. I mean,
he's
that's
really
a
not
tough
going to
spot.
like this.
And that's why you just go bet when you flop the
That's
set
a
and you
really
raise
tough
under the
spot
gun.
for Dan there.
Remember,
called by
and
a
He
lot.
knows, and him and Brandon, I'm sure, played a lot of tournaments together, so he knows he's capable of
three barreling,
yeah,
three barrel
lot of
bluffing
moves.
there, 100%. So this is poker. This is one of the evolutions of poker, right? Because you used to flop a set and check, right? And then now people flop a set and
12
bet,
years
which
ago?
makes the hand very much more deceiving. You know what I mean? Especially on a very dry board like that. You know, he could have checked. Brandon could have checked there twice probably and got a check raise on the turn.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
But
If
it's
you
a
think-
large show of strength to
Right.
check flop call, check raise. And you basically it's a way to guarantee you're going to get some money into the pot by going bet.
Right. And Dan had the hand that Brandon needed him to have the call, right?
Just
I
enough.
mean, he had exactly. There's enough. So we're at here. Danielle's got two deuces. Looks like she raised.
Looks like she raised it about 40,
$40.
50.
Christian. See,
Now,
this
if you're
is
in
my
Danielle's spot, do you try and trade somebody for a naked 7 so you can try and win an extra 50 man?
I don't see
Seven,
any
we
sevens
started
there.
we started off robust with the 3-7 deuce and haven't seen one since. And
If
we
there
had
if there are
three
two
winners, right?
sevens on the flop, does she have 2 7 deuce hands and she gets paid double? That's what I would think. Is Mikey called her with the
Yeah, they're defending a little wide here.
Yeah, with the
The
jack five
suited
of diamonds.
jack.
What's Brendan thinking here? Is he thinking that they're both weak and he can take down this pot? Or is he deciding that? I mean, because he just won a nice pot off of Dan. Maybe he's feeling himself. No, he's going to go ahead and fold there. Danielle raised. Looks like Mike, what we missed was that Mike 3-bet, Danielle 4-bet with the deuces and took Mikey out the end.
Okay.
Mikey's been very quiet today. Maybe he's trying to hang on to that $284,000 he just won at the WPT.
I don't blame him. I
For
mean,
the
look at this.
I mean, the WSOP is coming up. You know, he's probably going to play a bunch of tournaments there. He's kind of
Sure.
holding on to that.
We've had a lot of regulars have some success in some tournaments lately between JJ that took down
The 1
the
point
5 diamond.
Yeah, 1 point.
And then Mike
Ryan,
DeVecchio here.
Mike
That,
DeVecchio,
Ryan
yeah.
also as well finished
And
second.
Jacob was third. I mean, these are regular Bellagio players. And JJ was in on one bullet. I mean, think about that.
Right.
One $10,000 bullet
Right.
into $1.7 million. I mean,
That's a pretty good run.
yeah. I like to do that just once.
And then
just-
Mike, where did Mike win his WPT title?
at Thunder Bay up in California.
Thunder
Northern
Valley.
California.
Thunder Valley.
Thunder
It's like
Valley.
Sacramento area,
Yeah, it's
right?
like a little north of Sacramento, between Reno and Sacramento.
Okay.
He won $284,000 there. Like we said, he beat Sorrel Mizzi, 2010 Bluff Magazine Player of the Year. He beat him heads up. Sorrel got a nice payday, and Sorrel's always here in the poker room too.
Yeah,
man.
I've had
So,
again, like I said, a lot of Bellagio regulars, cashier regulars having some good success in tournaments lately, which is good. We're very happy to see it and then come back and join us.
I think that if you want to learn to play great poker, and you have the bankroll to start losing, because let's be realistic here, you're going to come in and play against some of the best players in the world.
Scaring them off, man.
No,
Come
I mean,
on.
let's be realistic here. Like,
Look,
I mean,
I've watched I've watched people in every game in this building, up to the games in Bobby's room, come in cold, no experience.
Sure.
Hey, what
Some
game
of
are you playing? And win. It happens. Come on,
does
man.
happen. I'm not
Don't
saying it
tell me
doesn't.
they don't
I'm
have
not
a
saying.
chance,
I'm not.
man.
Oh, I didn't say they didn't have a chance. But we're going to. You take lessons. I mean, John, you and I have been playing poker for a very long time.
Yeah.
Were you a winning player when you first started?
Well, I thought I was. I've got memories of pots I played, 10 years ago, whatever. I look back on what in the world was I doing? And I thought I was the champ back then. So
right. And now then you realize, wow, So it takes it's going to be a training process if you come in here. I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Be realistic,
And you're only going to improve if you have the desire to learn. This is definitely a good avenue.
Like I said, right now we have a 25-50 no limit hold'em game with a minimum buy-in of $25,000 going on in Bobby's Room.
It's that big?
It's that big.
That is a huge.
I mean, there are a few guys with between $100,000 and $250,000 on the table. It's amazing. It's 25-50. We got a list of people who try to really want to get into that game right now. A lot of pro players want to get. There's a couple of amateur businessmen in there. This happens actually quite a bit at the Bellagio. We get a lot of amateur businessmen with lots of money that want to play with the best poker players in the world. So they bring a couple $100,000 and they say, "Can I get a game?" We will find you a game. If you come to the Bellagio to play poker, no matter what your game is, we can find you a game. We have a list of phone numbers and players. We can put together a game. John is actually very good at this, making a game out of thin air. He does it actually quite regularly for the Bobby's Room high roller game.
Taking the night off out of his duties, most frequently when he's here in the evenings on swing shift, leading the way. And
John runs Bobby's Room. Yeah, and there are times when I'll come in here and I'm like, "Oh, John, there's no game." He's like, "Well, give me an hour. I'll get this worked out." And I'll go back an hour, and I'm like, "Do you got a game?" He's like, "Yep, they're all on their way." And 10 minutes later, I got 8 people at a game playing 1,000, 2,000, 1,500, 3,000, 300, 600. Like, it's a very you do your job very well, John. So, like, anybody that wants to play in Bobby's Room, you want to come play with those guys, call John here at the Bellagio Poker Room. Just call and ask John. He has a list of phone numbers. He'll take your number. You tell him when you're going to be in town. He'll get you in the game.
Yeah.
And it's really that simple. It's that simple. It is.
Poker players want to play poker. If you want to play poker as well, I'll get you poker players who want to play poker.
And then John will be your waiter and get you fries with your salad.
Yeah, that's basically it. After I get the game going, there's not a whole lot of poker supervisory stuff to do. So, yeah, you want to eat something? I'll help you out with that, too.
He'll get you some free food. No, and if you call during the day and John's not here, please ask for George.
Cash Gennaro says, calling the Bellagio now, John. So we'll get as soon as maybe just leave a message.
Take a message.
Yeah, take a message.
I'm a little busy.
No,
it looks like JJ has done something interesting here. He's just flatted early with the 2 queens, and then after Mikey's opened it up, has called again.
So is Mike in a continuation bet here? Mike has been pretty snug right today. Mm-hmm. He hasn't quite drank all this champagne.
Check raise.
He's going to check raise. And unfortunately, for JJ, Mikey didn't hit anything, so he's probably going to fold unless Mike thinks he can take this hand away. And he doesn't. He's just going to fold.
Better spots to be had.
Yep. That's what.
So I talked to JJ yesterday here in the room. He refers to, or apparently in the games that he plays with the regulars, they call him the card whisperer.
Yes.
And he says allegedly because he hits so many sets in a day.
Well, it's either that or he's sitting there saying, "Please, please." I don't know.
You guys actually want to know the real story behind the card whisperer?
Yes.
Yeah.
So JJ was playing a pot against the guy, and the guy leans over to the dealer and whispers in the dealer's ear, "I'm all in." And nobody heard it except for the dealer.
Okay.
So, and JJ was like dumbfounded when he thought he was calling a $100 bet, and the dealer was like, "No, he said he was all in."
Okay.
And so it became a joke between them because he's the card whisperer because the guy whispered in the dealer's ear that he was all in, and it was actually a pretty funny situation.
So that's how he got the name.
That's how he got the name, the card whisperer. Yeah.
Let that be a lesson.
Yes. Pay attention to. If you don't know what the action is, you are perfectly in your right to ask what's going on.
We actually suggest it.
Yes. Yeah, please. Yes. The Bellagio is we have a lot of player-friendly rules here. Some of the things if a player doesn't see a raise and they call what they think is pre-flop limp. If nobody's acting behind them, we do allow them to take the bets back. Like I said, we have the lowest rake really on the planet.
Sure.
We do a lot of things that are very player friendly here, within the confines of poker. Like
Sure,
we're not going to get out of.
Obviously we got some rules to follow, but we're not here to beat people up. We want people to have a good
We don't want
experience. When people come from out of town, they're
right.
tourists. They might be in for the weekend. Those are folks that we want to make sure that the rules are. Like you said, not player friendly, but reasonable, so that no one
for the
leaves
best
here.
interest of the game, right?
Yeah, for the best interest of the game, and that no one leaves here with a bad taste in their mouth,
Yeah.
especially if it's their first weekend playing.
Nobody wants to feel like they're in Folsom when they're playing.
Exactly.
When they're playing poker,
Sure.
you know.
And
do
if you
feel
have an
that way
idea, we're open to ideas. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the 25K mixed game tournament that I.
Yeah, but shout out to
Brian
Rast.
I mean,
Daniel came to us
down
with
there
that.
came with that, and they're like, "Can you do this?" Like, yeah, we can probably find a way to do that.
Yeah.
You know? So there are a lot of things. We're open to a lot of things. Like this here, we normally don't play 2, 5, 10 in the room, but for the stream, we're doing it because the players seem to like the straddle automatic, so we added that to the game. So if you're coming into Vegas, just know that our regular 2-5 game is 2-5. We have 5-10, 10-20, 25-50, 50-100. Again, whatever you want to play.
So a little bit of a hybrid game. We don't
normally spread
2,
right.
5,
so
10.
Yeah, if you come into the room, we're not going to have a 2,
Bellagio
5, 10 game.
POTS stream here. Our first night kicking it off. We thought we'd give these guys a 3-blind game for a little action if you were curious.
And
why
next week
that
we're
was
going to do the same blinds, 2, 5, 10. And
so give us
3
the rundown
weeks
for the next 3 schedule or the schedule, and then the summer plans.
we're going to go 2, 5, 10 for the first 4 weeks, and then
Yep.
the 5th week we're going to go 5, 10, 20.
At least we might even get higher depending on what happens in the next first couple streams. We might if we put together a bigger game, we might end up playing higher. But we're going to play at least 10, 20, no limit hold'em.
So we've
we
got
got
a
a
pot
flop here,
here.
yep.
Dennis opened under the gun to 30. Danielle called on her button with the 9 of clubs, 4 of clubs, flops a flush draw. Christian out of the small blind flops middle pair. 2 checks to Danielle here, who's going to bet it and probably
Christian
take it
has
down.
been very snug today, right?
Yeah.
He just folded middle pair there to Danielle's bet when it was checked to her. Can Dennis take Danielle off this flush draw?
Never going to know.
No, not going to try.
Yeah. Never know.
So you'll see some. You see a very wide variety of players here, right?
Yeah, it's the
Christian,
way I describe it, the poker room in general is a perfect cross-section of poker society.
It is.
And this game is indicative of that as well.
One of the things you will see, we will have on here, probably not for the first 5 weeks, when we come back after the World Series of Poker, is we will have limit hold'em games on here. I think limit is don't make that face, Craig. I think limit is a much faster paced game, and I think people like it. Like one thing we've noticed, and because of it, we've changed our schedule for the 5 Diamond is people love shot clock tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely trending that way. We ran one. We tried it for the first time,
And
in the 5 Diamond, and it was a huge success.
it was our biggest,
one of the biggest,
it was our biggest field outside of the main event. Yeah,
Sure.
and
Everybody was excited about it. I think obviously we know the industry kind of looking to go that way. We're going to be at the forefront of it here. We certainly didn't originate it, but we're very much supporting the idea, and a lot of good feedback for the tournaments going forward. With
and then we have our even in our mixed game tournament, they added the shot clock for
second
the
day, correct?
Yeah, for the
big bet games.
For the big bet games, the single deuce, the PLO, they added a clock for the big bet games. Makes things run a lot smoother. Not a lot of wasted tanking and thinking and prevent
people like
from
it. I mean, you got to realize that now, 10 or 12 years after online poker's come, we all learn to play very quickly.
Right.
We still want to do so. Obviously, we can't for obvious reasons. But, I mean, no one really wants to sit around and wait for the guy to
the guy you know is going to fold anyway,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, you
just-
know he's folding,
Right.
and now he just wants to squeeze, pretend like he had a really good hand, and then he's got a real decision, and then he folds, and it just frustrates everybody else. So the shot clock is a very big thing. Our daily tournament that starts every day at 2 o'clock is a $200 buy-in shot clock tournament. I love them. I think it just makes the game so much more pleasant when we keep it going.
Yeah, we for sure had a lot of good feedback about the daily tournament and the structure with it, the shot clock structure. And like I said, I think we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. And we're seeing it at all limits. I mean, you mentioned our high roller games for the mixed games, but really the group that really was pushing this is the 25K high roller group that plays over at Ari every week.
Yes.
They really implemented this on a regular basis, and I certainly haven't. I've not heard any complaints from anyone playing that level. They were ready for it.
This is going to be an interesting flop here. The live 20 and the live 40 was on. It folds, or just limps. Danielle limps, Dennis limps back to Mike in the 3, who looks like he's put a big raise in with the king of clubs, jack of clubs. Brandon, who hasn't acted on his hand in the you put the $40 straddle on. He's got a pretty big hand, the ace.
He's got ace queen.
Yeah.
He's got to think. This is kind of a tough spot though, right? Especially when you have Dennis, who's playing a little snug, Danielle, who's a great player, and the action that's preceded you. He puts in a big raise here, right?
He just 3-bet it
to
to 540.
540. It was 180. Yeah, Danielle's going to fold. She knows Brendan's got a hand here. Again, some of these guys have played a lot of hands against each other.
Yeah, a lot of experienced pros at the table for sure.
Does Dennis think that Brandon's just squeezing here and trying to take the pot down? And does he think that maybe he could take the hand away from both of them with a bit? If he's got about.
It looks like he's got over
900.
No, that looks like 8 and 10s plus either 3 or 4
black.
chips.
So he's got about 1,100 in front of him.
Yeah.
Can he put it in and get them off their hands? Which would be a really nice play here, right?
I can't imagine Brandon's going to put 540 in and fold for 1,200, but no, Brandon's just going to have to win it.
Yep.
Ho hum.
Nice straddle hand, Brandon. Nice straddle hand. Are they playing show one?
They have the last 2 pots, yeah.
Yeah, so Danielle just flipped a card over. So they must be playing show one.
Yeah, the previous pot, Danielle picked up just the blinds and
for
straddle
those,
and showed 1 card as well.
And for those of you who don't know what show one is, the players agree that you have to show 1 card in a hand that's not shown down. And you generally let another player at the table pick the card that's shown.
They're letting the other player pick the card that's shown?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other player, you put the cards out, and another player gets to pick
It's
the
still
cards.
fun if you get to pick
Like
your.
your-
No, I do have a pair.
That can be fun.
Nah,
though.
you got to show the naked 9 for
right.
absolutely squadouche. That makes it good.
JJ's got King Queen here. Dan called with King 6. No,
The
Dan
40
folded.
is on again from Danielle. Is that what's happened?
Looks
here?
like that's what I see.
Yep, and then fold to JJ, who just flats the button with the King Queen for 40. I guess he's hoping that somebody else is going to open it up. Mark calls the suited ace. Mikey calls. Hopefully doesn't flop a flush. He's got the dominated spade draw to his
Danielle's got the
Danielle
Jack
gets
four.
to knuckle the hand that's no good in any game in the casino, the 14, the Jack 4 offsuit.
And this is an interesting flop. Does JJ think that King Queen's good here? It's a limp
Absolutely.
pot, so like he's got to bet here though, right? To try
Yeah.
and get make sure the draws don't catch their hand. Or he doesn't give an ace a free shot of the hand.
Looks like he's just going to pick it up. No big deal.
Danielle's thinking about taking the pot away. And she keeps
That's
it.
it.
She's
She's just going to take it down.
And show one, and she saw the king. So now she's wondering what he really had.
Well,
All right.
Jack 4
So you
is
see,
the
you see
next-
Dennis
see
there.
what
He
you
told
did
us
there.
he told us on Twitter he was wearing his he just purchased a Bellagio poker hat over at our gift shop. He wore it on his suited poker gear. He had a
Nice.
hat. He wore it. He goes, I'm putting this on the stream. He put it on Twitter, and there he is showing up with his hat. I
There
like
you
it.
go.
And if you, again, Dennis just saw one of our test streams. He sent us an email at
Heard about it here in the room,
poker@BellagioResort.com and said, hey, I want to be on there. I can play with the best players in the world. I'm coming to the Bellagio. Put me on the stream. And now he's on the stream. You'll know, like I said, Dan O'Brien is probably one of the most well-known poker players in the world, right? He's been around for 14 years.
Tough tournament player for sure.
Incredible tournament player. I've actually played some tournaments with Dan. We never really played a lot of pots together, but he's a beast on a tournament table. He really is a beast. Great player.
I got to
Mike
play
Novak.
one tournament with him ever, Dan O'Brien. Played the No Limit Deuce 7 single draw event with him. Man, that was either 3 or 4 years ago.
Dan said, I talked to him before the stream. He goes, man, I wasn't quite ready to get in the grind for the summer, but I might start coming out and playing some more. So we might get some more cash game action out of Dan. Good to see him around. Again, I've known Dan for a long time coming up to the tournament side of things, so it's good to have him on with us tonight.
Live 40 on here. Mike in the blinds made it 140, and Danielle was defended. She was in the 20 with the 6-5 and is flopped. Straight
Gut
draw.
shot.
Straight
Now,
draw versus straight draw.
This is like one of those hands that, like, as a poker player can be kind of frustrating, right? Because now, like, let's say a 6 comes off on the river, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does Danielle, is she going to call here, first of all, with a gut shot for $160? I'm guessing probably not, and I'm wrong. So, now, what does she do now if a 6 comes off on the river? Or a
Excellent
5?
question.
Because now she's made a pair, which would be the best hand.
Board pair.
Board pair.
It's an interesting card for Queen High versus 6 High.
Does Mike continuation bet here, representing that he bet a king on the turn?
I mean, how else are you going to win with Queen High?
Check, check.
Well, how do you know?
But
Right. And Danielle, she can't call you right. She can raise.
Yeah, he bet half the pot here. So.
And again, her and Mike have played a lot of poker together. They're really good friends. They play the 5-10 and the 10-20 no limit hold'em game almost every day together. She's going to get it
either way.
Haven't seen any real outrageous multi-street bluffs or anything like that.
Do you think, like, with Danielle and Mike being really good friends, if she picks up on a tell on him, does she tell him so he doesn't do it
That's
for
a
other
good
players?
question.
Or does she just keep it to herself so when she's playing hands against him?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. I don't know.
What would you do, John?
Here's the thing. I don't put a lot of faith into live reads. I think, betting patterns are much stronger. There's nobody that, plays any serious amount of poker that's really going to give a whole lot away. Maybe a little strong versus a little weak, something like that, but that's normally also going to be indicated by, the play of the hand, texture of the board, stuff like that.
We got the straddle on to 40 for this hand.
Yeah, I think they put a full round of the 40s on.
Mark's got the best hand here, right, with king, queen of diamonds.
On the button.
And he's been very aggressive, so he's going to play this hand aggressively too, right?
Yeah, it's just going to fold to him, and he's going to rip
put
something. 120-ish?
120-ish. And maybe Christian. No, Christian's been pretty snug. Does he call here and get in the action with the jack-10? No, he doesn't. And Dan's going to fold the queen-3 offsuit, which is probably a really good idea there. No, I think that you're right, that live tells against people who play poker on a regular basis, like the 5-10, 10-20 players at that level, might be a little bit overrated.
Yeah.
It was funny. I listened to a podcast this week, the Card Player podcast with our good friend Nick Schulman, and he was on there discussing. And again, these guys are talking in levels way over my head, but he was discussing some of the videos he'd watched on Doug Polk, and those two, and again, those are two wildly successful professionals, and they had very differing opinions on live tells. I can't remember the exact details, but it was a good listen. And again, this is Nick and Doug, huge pros with a lot of experience and a lot of winnings, and they were talking about how they had different different opinions as to the value of them. So again, I think there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Absolutely. And some people are gonna. I don't know. I'm just not skilled at them, so I don't put a lot of weight in them. Dennis under the gun, opening the 2 5s here. The live 40 is still on. Mark declines. This is one of the first times I've seen him just call an open.
Because he's been very, very aggressive tonight. Yeah, he hasn't 3-bet here.
Granted, the 40 hasn't been on the last couple times, so pot's already relatively big in size. The 3-bet comes from the button instead with the king-queen offsuit.
Mike's in a lot of trouble with this hand. He has to win here with the 3-bet, right?
I can't imagine he's going to pick it up.
I'm really curious what Mark's going to do here, because we've seen some tough plays out of Mark, and I mean, he could quite easily think that this is a squeeze out of Mike.
Yeah, Dennis could do anything, and then there's no way Mike wins this pre-flop.
But Dennis is full. Do you think that Mike thinks because Dennis has folded some 3-bet hands pre-flop with the 3-bets that he can just take Dennis off the hand, and if he takes Dennis off the hand, then Mark is probably going to fold too, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the strongest hand's always normally going to be the guy that opens, the guy in between. It's a perfect squeeze play, but they're all aware it's a perfect squeeze play. At the same time, it might want to play back at that. Maybe 2 5s is the best hand. It happens to be here. I think Dennis is making a serious consideration to put a 4-bet in here.
And it'd be a great idea to put a 4-bet in here. And the thing is, like, he might be thinking that Mark and Mike have each other's outs.
All right, guys, here's my predictions. I think we're going to see a fold out of Dennis, and I think we're going to see a raise out of Mark.
Very possible.
That's just my guess. I don't know if that's.
I think Dennis really wants to just rip.
I like Dennis's skull.
That is cool. I didn't see that before. Declines.
Does he hope that Mark folds so he doesn't have to see a flop here?
Yeah. Mark's got a pretty well disguised.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is my favorite hand to watch of the night so far.
Yeah.
I mean, this is because this is high level play between these two. I mean, these two guys are.
Yeah.
There he goes. He rips it in.
Yeah. Great
That's
play
a
by
great
Mark.
back raise.
There's
all
no
in.
way that Mikey thinks that King Queen's here good here anymore.
That's
right?
a phenomenal play by Mark.
It is. And it's putting
Well,
Mikey all in, right?
It's a phenomenal play since Mike doesn't have the 2 kings here,
Right.
which he very well could. But I am a fan of the 4-bet here. He's got a way underrepresented hand. He knows that Mike knows that. And are you really just gonna
if nothing
fold
else,
ace queen?
if nothing else, I guessed one right in the action here.
There you go.
Yeah. I wonder what Mike's thinking right here. Is he thinking he's being squeezed now,
I
right?
think he's thinking, I could have just taken a flop.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. I think we've all been in that situation before where you raise maybe a little light and you're like, okay, what did I get myself into? I wish we had one of those little bubbles above his head so we could see what he's thinking, like in the cartoons, you know, like, He's probably going to fold here, though, right? Or does he?
King Queen's a hard hand to just call it all off with. I mean, even if you think your opponent's light, he could easily have the.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got to think.
Even if he has a hand like 8s or 9s,
yeah,
you're hoping
that for a coin flip. You're hoping for a 60-40 at
and
best.
then with Mark tanking, I mean, with Dennis tanking there, you might think that Dennis had a hand which might have your outs in it also. You know, like Dennis could have folded a hand with like.
But if you're Mikey in this spot, you did see Mark just limp when to or call Dennis's open.
Yeah, right.
So it is going through his mind. Does he have anything at all?
But would Mark would have?
Oh, he called him.
He just put the money.
Yes, he did. Mark would have called him there with a pair of jacks, though, right?
It's the pot of the night for sure.
Are they going to run it twice here?
Pretty good chance they do, I would say.
Yeah, we do. We do allow you to run it twice in our 5, 10, and bigger games.
We're going to almost a $5,000 pot here.
No improvement. Mark's still ahead. 9 on the river.
Nice
they run it
hand,
once, and
Mark did an excellent job of disguising.
He did. He really did.
I mean,
I think, like, what hands, though, other than ace queen, could Mark have done that with? Like, would he have done it with, like, 10s or 9s or jacks or something like that? Flat, try and play a small pot? Or actually,
he can do it with
Dennis raised. Did Mark re-raise or
No.
It
goes Dennis opens. Mark just calls with ace queen, and then Mike 3-bets it. So it looks like a lot of the time that Mark's going to have a weaker hand than he ended up having. Yeah. So it looks, but it's one of those spots where you can talk yourself into, oh, well, maybe he really doesn't have a hand here. Maybe King Queen is crushing him because he's got Queen 10 and is just trying to pick this up.
Does he put him on a small medium pair there, maybe?
Maybe think he's racing. I mean, and with the $500, when he puts $500 in pre-flop, he's probably thinking maybe he's committed there, right? Because he raised the 540 after the 180, so maybe he's thinking he's committed there.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that Dennis would have won that pot. Like, 5s were the best hand all the way through.
Yeah, he could have just ripped there and maybe gotten called by ace queen.
I bet.
Never know.
I bet if if Dennis fires it in there, we both would have folded their hands. Yeah. That's my guess.
I don't know that. You think Mark folds ace queen there? He has to, because Dennis has laid down a bunch of hands to 3-bets pre-flop. I mean, so if Dennis rips there, he's got to think he's really strong.
Yeah, sure.
Although, like, his whole purpose in just calling with the ace queen there is to disguise his hand. Maybe it's good enough. I don't know.
Mark raised to 120 with pocket 9s. Mikey's calling with deuces. Mikey wants some of his money back. Notice that Mikey went into his reload cup.
Reload cup.
We have reload cups here at the Bellagio. Oh, Mikey's getting some. He's probably not going to get much of his money back.
We need a 9 on the turn for a big pot here. Although Mark's probably going to try and represent. No, he's not. Just check fold.
Yeah. Mike called him.
Is this guy a wizard?
Yeah, and he bet the set there. And there's nothing. And Mark couldn't call him with the 2 overcards on the board. Again, these are 2 guys that play a lot of hands of poker together. These guys have been playing together for years here at the Bellagio.
Sure.
What happened to Danielle's hat?
I don't know. Cross promotion. Giving away hats here at the Bellagio.
We haven't really seen a lot of the Christian, Brendan, or JJ today in the 9th seat, or 8th seat, excuse me. They've been pretty snug. JJ's won a couple of pots by leading out after he's been raised pre-flop. And
Brandon's been pretty active in some hands for sure.
Yeah.
You forget about the 3 6s where he
triple barreled, and got paid off by Dan O'Brien. It's a very
that's probably the second biggest pot of the night, other than the one that Mikey and Mark just played there.
What are we collecting here? Oh, there's our beautiful Bellagio poker. You can see the sports book in the back. If you see the sports book in the back, you like to bet sports, you should probably download the Play MGM app. Anywhere in the state of Nevada, you can bet through any sports game that our regular sports books allow betting on.
Geolocated within the state of Nevada. You get on the app, check it out.
All right, Christian's got an ace-10 of clubs here. Looks like he's in early position. He's probably raising this hand, right?
All right, Christian's in.
But Christian's been playing. No, Christian's in the small blind.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan's got
Dan's
queens.
in the blinds.
This is an interesting hand between the blinds,
Danielle
right?
on the button. Danielle's going to open the ace high. And there's a couple hands.
And Christian folded ace-10 clubs there. Wow. He hasn't been really looking to get involved in too many pots today, has he?
No, I mean, he's played almost all the pots he's played in position, kept them small.
Has he won a pot? I don't remember Christian actually winning a pot. I've seen him put a few chips in, but like.
Well, it looks like he's got 2,400 in front of him, so I unfortunately have a short memory.
What's Dan going to do here with 2 queens against Danielle? Is he going to 3-bet it?
3-bet 300, 400 straight.
JJ gets out of the way. Then everybody's going to fold back to Danielle. And she's probably folding this, or do you think she plays this hand in position against?
Yeah, either one's fine. They're deep enough.
Surrenders. It's tough there with the ace-4, right? Because Dan could be.
Oh yeah. You just don't know what flop you want.
Right, and
Dan,
the thing is that.
One.
Yeah.
Yep. Shows. Well, obviously had 2 queens, but.
So Dan has to like. Dan with her opening on the button, Dan out of the big blind would probably raise with any medium to better ace.
Yeah,
right?
I mean he's 3-betting wide there, and just happens to have 2 queens as well, but.
It's an interesting position when you get. Because a lot of times the blinds just assume that the button is raising light. And a 3-bet can generally get them off the hand. Yeah. Sometimes you run into the button with an actual hand. But then you get sometimes where the button player knows that the blind thinks that they get what we call leveling. You know that the blind thinks that you're raising light, so now you're being re-raised. So now you think maybe your ace is good there. Maybe he's 3-betting you with something like Jack-10 or 9-10 suited or something like that, which would have been a perfectly acceptable and understandable raise there against the button raise, right?
Yeah. Mark Ioli has the 40s on. Mark's in the 20, has 2 aces, and Danielle is raised first in.
Is he going to 3-bet her? He flats, right? Maybe.
I don't know.
No, he 3-bets.
again. Be rude not to.
So Danielle became kind of a folk hero last year, right? During the World Series of Poker. She was playing the $10,000 buy-in main event, and a certain person ended up at her table during the table break. Somebody that we've all heard of. And Danielle kind of said what a lot of us were thinking to this person, you know, and it's funny. I talked to her afterwards, and she was just like, "It just stone cold."
Made a name for herself on that.
She did. I mean, she already had a name for herself.
Sure.
She's played, you know, quite a lot of television tables and stuff, and she's been on Poker Night in America a few times. But Twitter went crazy over her because she said to this person what a lot of us wanted to say. You know, cost her a lot of money that she had worked very hard to earn in her career, and so she became kind of like the Robin Hood for poker players last year. You know. For those of us who lost tons of money back in 2011. Can Christian win a pot with a 7 deuce? And this actually.
This is interesting because we haven't seen.
Play into his image.
Right, he's played so tight. If he raises here, like, is he going to get any action? Because he's been so tight.
But he doesn't need action. He's going to.
Right, exactly. He just wants to win the 7 deuce.
I'm certain he's happy to take it down right away.
Queen. And that's it.
Oh, and Mike
the only thing in between him and the glory
of the 7 deuce
queen
game.
Tray of clubs.
Well, Christian, he's got a continuation bet here, right? No matter what the flop is, he's got to try and win. Represent the ace. He's got to bet here.
Flop.
He hasn't played very many
Winner,
hands. There it is.
There he
Show
is.
the 7 deuce. Collect your $350.
Oh, and he gets a little. I don't know if you caught that.
Was that the 7 deuce slow roll?
Yes,
there?
that was the show one slow roll. Go ahead and pick one. Maybe.
You pick one, I'll show the other, and he takes down the 7 deuce.
Yeah. Great play.
Masterfully done.
His reputation just made him $350. Very nice. Well done, Christian. Mark's up to $6,000. He bought it for $2,000. He's tripled up already in this game today. He's been very aggressive and very action.
Played a big pot with Mikey there.
Yeah, big pot from Mike. I'm really surprised that he disguised that ace-queen hand very well.
Yes, he did.
Which probably is why Mike paid him off.
Sure.
Maybe he thought he probably thought at very worst he was racing there with the king-queen against a smaller pair like 8s or 9s or something like that.
I mean, that's a spot where, maybe king-queen's a good enough hand to show that, hey, I'm not going to get pushed around.
Right.
You got to take a stand at some point to a guy.
A lot of big.
Right.
We're going to have a pot here between Christian and Danielle, right?
2 10s.
And Mikey's got the 7 deuce, so he's coming.
Oh, he's coming in too.
Danielle's got 2 10s with both of the other 10s dead.
Oh, I saw one of them. I didn't realize both of them were dead.
Somebody's hand just went to the muck. That was another 10. I saw it just for a brief moment.
So this is going to be an interesting hand for her. She can't improve. Well, she can make the weird straights.
Yeah, she's got 1 life suit.
I tell you what, Mikey's going to have a hard time taking down this pot with the 7 deuce against
didn't
Danielle's
even
10s
see
and
it.
Christian's queen.
Just calls.
I'm rooting for Mikey to flop deuce. I'm rooting for Mikey to flop a deuce or a 7 deuce for 2 pair here.
Oh, he got a 7.
Nobody has a club.
Nobody has a club.
Mikey's got a chance, ladies and gentlemen.
The flush here is going to make, and the fact that nobody has a club is going to slow down the action on this hand, right? Yeah, Christian checks behind. 9 of clubs. Mike, nobody bet the flop.
Taking.
Yeah,
there it is.
Nobody bet the flop. Mike can take this hand down. He should be able to take this hand down with the bet. Danielle doesn't have a club. This Christian think queens are good here. And even if he does call, Mike still has outs. He's got the 7 of deuce. He's discussing the 14,000 that Mike has in the cup. Mike is going to get his.
Folds it.
Mike's getting his $50
Well
back that he
done.
just gave to Christian because he's about to show the 7 deuce. And he slow rolls the 7 deuce. Well done, Mikey. Well done.
Yeah, that was perfect board for that.
Yep.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better run out against.
Do you think Christian should have 3-bet that hand pre-flop?
It would have been an acceptable option.
No.
But, trying to play a small pot, you've got a bunch of people behind you. Disguise your hand.
But if he
Now,
3-bets,
here's the question. If he 3-bets,
does Mikey
call
4-bet
or a call again?
Yeah. I don't think Mikey 4-bets, but he might get.
I mean, he just flats the 50 pre. Just, he obviously doesn't want to just stuff a bunch of money in there to try and win the 350. But
right. Yeah, he wants to keep it mathematically sound there.
Yeah.
Looks like we got the 20 on. 20, is that the 20 or the 4? That's the 20. Danielle's
Just the 20.
$20 straddle.
I think the round of 40.
She's got a nice hand for a $20 straddle with the king jack of clubs.
Hell yeah.
I would take that any day in a straddle hand. And if somebody raises, she's probably defending here, right? Unless it's 3 and 4 bet.
Mystery hand opened by Dan O'Brien to $70. A whole bunch of folds. Brandon with the offsuit ace lets it go. Danielle defends. Well predicted.
Here we go. And it's not. It's an interesting thing because we don't know what Dan has. Let's see what the flop is. See how the action goes.
Mystery hand for Dan, huh?
Oh well, now Danielle's flop middle pair with the king kicker. It should be a solid hand here. What do you guys think Dan has?
I mean, it goes 1 fold to him.
He's early position raising there.
I think he's got ace jack plus here. Pretty easily.
So is Danielle calling the 90 here with king jacks?
All right, we haven't seen his hand. I'm betting he's got a queen here.
You think he has a queen?
I think he's got the queen.
It's definitely too early for Dan to fold, no matter what.
Right.
For Danielle, excuse me, to fold no matter what.
Deuce of hearts comes off. She's never putting Dan on a deuce. Dan's not putting her on a deuce. Does Danielle bet out here?
She checks.
She checked. What does Dan do now? We don't know what he has. If he's got a queen, he fires again, right? Because he's not going to put Danielle on a deuce calling the raise pre.
He fires almost all of his range here again, I want to say. I mean, what?
I mean, he could put Danielle on a diamond draw, straight draw, and think that if he has a smaller pair, it's probably good.
Bet out for 220.
Have the 7 deuce one time.
I hope we get to see Dan's hand here. Dallas, what's your bet? What do you think? What do you think he's got here?
I think he has the best hand. I don't know what it is, but I think he has the best hand. At the very worst, I think he has ace king of diamonds. At the very worst, which still it gives him a very strong hand here. But I think he's got maybe king queen.
That's a possibility.
There's actually a very strong possibility that he has the same hand.
That is a
Danielle
check
raised
raise.
him.
Wow.
Taking the lead. I like it.
I love taking the lead. I think it's always better to be the aggressor than to be the caller.
Sean Mack says 10-9 of diamonds.
Would be a great hand. That's a great possibility, which means that Dan's calling here, right? If he's got 10-9 of diamonds.
But that requires Dan to open first in from +1 to the 10-9 of diamonds.
So let me ask you, does Danielle think she has the best hand, or is she just trying to move him off whatever he has?
She thinks she has the best hand.
You think so?
Yeah, she thinks her jack is good. She believes that. I don't think she believes that Dan has a queen. 5 of spades doesn't help anything, doesn't change anything. Now, what does she do because Dan called her?
Thank you, Benton.
This is a great hand here. I mean, what's Dan thinking? What's his range that he's calling, right? If the pot is $1,500, how much will Dan call if Danielle bets?
I mean, it depends on what he has.
Sunny
If
864 says Dan got kings. That's not a bad
over,
bet here.
Over pair is very likely here.
We got people rooting with John for the 7 deuce. This would be a really bad hand for Danielle if he has the 7 deuce.
She check raises and then checks, and Dan's contemplating.
He's going to fold here.
Wow,
he
doesn't have the best hand.
No.
King 10 of diamonds? Yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
Yeah, King 10 of diamonds. Yeah.
Did he show the King 10 there?
No.
He folded. No. His range is so, like, there's so many things.
I mean, he can have.
He had to have a diamond draw, straight draw there or something like that, right? He had to have the King 10 diamonds, 9
Ace
10
King,
diamonds.
King
Maybe
10.
he turned the heart draw.
You know, like we said,
Maybe
these two have played a lot of poker together. Maybe they had some reads on each other. Or
Ace King, King 10, 10 9 diamonds.
Which goes back to our earlier conversation about how important are physical reads in live poker nowadays. The thing about like these guys is they play so much poker that they're comfortable doing no matter what they do. They're comfortable bluffing. They're comfortable check raising. They don't. They do this all day, every day, so it's just a regular motion to them. So they don't get scared when they're check raised or, you know. Maybe he had King 10 of hearts, which would have flopped him, you know what I mean? Then he turned the heart draw, so now what does he do? Or Ace King of hearts.
Yeah.
Because what does he do there? You know what I mean? He fires the bet, tries a continuation bet, 3-barrel it, gets check raised, but he's still got the flush draw. He doesn't think Danielle's got jacks a full house there for any reason.
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is that he has 2 10s or 2 9s there.
And the look he gave her when she turned over the hand, he looked a little perplexed there. Mikey going to call $8 here, or is he just going to? No, he's going to raise like he should with Ace Jack. Brandon's going to fold. Danielle has another mystery hand.
Suited
ace 4. She's calling, right? She's calling the strat. Yeah.
Defend.
She
won a big pot. Let's go.
Reload cups. See those cups right there with the money in them?
Taking over.
That's the Bellagio Reload cup. Danielle actually flops Mike.
We are going to get them some nicer cups. I think.
Yes.
That's again, this is developed from our test streams we ran a couple weeks ago, and thank you for the players that came out and played those. But they started firing up. Again, our buy-ins are capped for the no-limit game, so they wanted to have some chips ready to go. We gave them some cups to have them. Fortunately, it's blocking our flop cam just a little bit.
We need to get some nice souvenir plastic cups for people.
Personalized, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good river for Danielle. She bets the flop, they check the turn, and Mike makes top pair and is going to bet. Danielle makes aces.
He's got to think Ace Jack is the best hand here, right?
Yeah.
But she's going to make aces up. And does she raise? Mikey bets. Does she raise or is she just flat here? She's not putting Mike on Ace King, right? Because he checked the flop to her. She bets. He calls, and they check the turn. She's not putting an Ace King out there.
Betting
she raises to 500. Is Mike thinking, damn it, I let her get there. I let her take the 2-pair hand. Or
He's realizing he got out.
He called.
Nice hand.
Nice hand. Exactly. Well played. We all know what that means, right? Nice hand. Well done, sir. Well done, young lady. Well done. I think that's going to put Danielle second in chips, right? Yeah, she's got 3. Bought in for 2,000 up to 1,200. Mark has been really aggressive. He was aggressive earlier. He's kind of slowed down a little bit right now. Won a big pot against Mikey.
Yeah, he's had some great spots to play some big pots.
He's had some really nice spots.
And,
You're right.
And he's and I've been extremely impressed with Mark's play so far tonight. I mean, he's really
one of the things
tough.
To be a top level pro like these guys and make a living at this, you have to be able to play your spots well. And Mark has done that tonight. He got Mikey to put in a lot of chips with the king queen. When he made it look like he had a really weak hand, he was just trying to take a pot away from Mike. He's done a really good job of playing it. And he won a 7 deuce hand too, so that's that's $350.
Icing on the cake.
Cake, yeah. So Dennis is going to call the $10. No, Dennis raised the $40 with ace-6 of diamonds. Dennis really hasn't had a lot of playable hands, though, either. He's had a lot of small pocket pairs. He's raised with them pre-flop and 3-bet and had to lay them down. What does he do if he gets 3-bet here with ace-6? And everybody's seen him fold the 3-bets pre-flop. So when you see somebody doing that quite regularly, you automatically assume that you can 3-bet them and take them off hand and just win a small pot right there, pick up a few chips. Christian actually called here with the king-jack. He's been very snug tonight. It's going to be interesting to see.
Good flop.
He flops the best hand. Danielle called with the 6-5 of clubs. And people will say, like, why would Danielle call a raise with the 6-5 of clubs? A, she's in one of the blinds. But I believe, like, anytime you think that you can get somebody to pay you off with a hand, if you make it, you're going to call there, right? And it's a hand she can easily get away from, right? She's not – if there's a bet and a call here, she's not playing the 6-5 of clubs any further, right? She's out of the hand. Yeah. The Christian's going to call here with top pair.
The old concept of implied odds.
Odds, right.
That you could stack a guy, but there's not a whole lot of boards that you're going to run off where you are likely to lose.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst case scenario for her.
Deuce,
right.
Check fold.
The worst thing that happens to Danielle there, right, is the 3-4 of clubs or something like the 7-8 of clubs comes off and she flops open and straight drop.
And then hopefully you're the favorite and you just rip as much money in the pot as you can.
And sometimes you miss, sometimes you hit it. But if she hits it, she gets paid off, right? But if Dennis has got aces or kings there, because she's going to check raise the flop or something to get a lot of chips in the pot.
Looks like Dennis has given up.
Yeah. And he should, because Christian's been maybe the tightest player on the table tonight. So when he calls you there, what range do you put him on? At worst, you put him on queen jack, right? And he hits the queen on the river anyway, so you know your ace high is no good there. What do you think about
Dennis? Though he's been tough tonight, man. Like he said, he was coming on to take on the pros. He told us on Twitter, and he's really held his own quite well here. Question from STL Twinkle. How long has the Bellagio Poker had a stream? Well, this is the very first night of Bellagio Poker on the Strip. This is the first one, first live stream.
It's our inaugural screen.
Yeah, first
stream.
one tonight.
I can't even talk tonight, yeah.
STL Twinkle. Thank you for the question.
Of course you can
Twinkie, I'm sorry.
St. Louis Twinkie.
St. Louis
Of course you can follow us on Twitter at Bellagio Poker. My Twitter is DallasScott73. John Harden is the great Hardini. Twitter. Please follow us. We will keep you updated on what games we'll be playing.
So we got 4 more streams coming up the next 4 weeks.
Right now
Wednesday
we're planning
night.
on 3 more 2-5-10s and a 5-10-20. But we've got a lot of our bigger game players, 25-50 players, saying, hey, what about us? We want to play on this game now. And we're going to have some of them on this stream tonight, but then like happens occasionally here at the Bellagio, some businessmen come in with $300,000 or $400,000 and say we want to play. So they start a 25-50 game with a $25,000 minimum buy-in. So this game may not be where they want to be right now.
Right, it's your 5-10 game, yeah.
Especially when
Whatever
you got 3 millionaire guys.
So shoot us an email at poker@BellagioResort.com. Hit us up on Twitter. We'll get you some information. Send it out to us. We're going to be filling those seats in the games. You know, it's very exciting for some players that might not have the chance to play in some of these games.
Interesting. Like, so Mikey raises a 30.
Danielle 3-bets.
Christian hasn't played a lot of hands here. He could 4-bet this pot and win with pocket aces. Do you think?
Possibly, yeah.
And he's going to lay it down.
Low variance route.
Yeah. Because his reputation tonight has been very, very tight. Anytime I think a player has that type of reputation, you should be able to bluff a few more hands, correct? You know, because nobody.
Except when you go back to the leveling thing from earlier that I know, that you know, that I've been snug, and
so maybe you think that I'm re-raising you, and then if you re-raise me,
maybe I'm abusing my image that I've developed so far. I don't know.
We just had a shout out from our moderator for our dealer, Nathan Pease. He's doing a great job. We locked him in for the night. He's going to handle the stream. He knows how to handle the commentary for the game. And so thank you to Nathan. You did a great job for us. We appreciate your help tonight.
And for any of you players that think that dealing is easy, I challenge you to come and sit at any of our games and just for 30 minutes. These guys dealers put in a lot of work to hone their craft. Nathan is a very good dealer. His mechanics are flawless.
Done a great job for us.
Yes.
Flawless, not one mistake.
No burns and turns.
Like I
no
said, we locked him in for about for the whole stream there tonight.
And people who don't deal, sitting at a poker table dealing for 2 hours is not an easy thing. It's very uncomfortable actually. So it's good.
But consummate professional, Nathan.
Very
Appreciate.
much,
We got some more folks. We actually got a lot of experience in this room of dealing TV tables because of our World Poker Tour events, and so we've got a lot of people in the works. The dealers you've seen on TV are quite a bit. Will be joining us in later streams. We can assure you that they are top notch, and they will get their chance to showcase their talent as dealers.
Mark flops top 2 here against JJ's Ace-3 of clubs. Any bet here should win the spot for Mark. Unless Christian decides to peel, but he hasn't shown that tonight that he would do that. Maybe try to catch a set, and Mark's going to win another small pot. Again, I'm Dallas Scott. I'm your regular host, along with my partner, John Harden. And today we have our Director of Poker Operations. Did I get that right? I don't want your girlfriend coming after me no more, okay? Director
she said
of Poker Operations.
Right, man. She was warning you because that's not going to
But you're also the director. Are you the Director of Sportsbook Operations too?
Yeah, Director of Poker and Racing Sports. So I get to.
So it's one title. It's not 2 different titles.
That's correct. One title. Yep.
Okay. Did they give you an extra long business card for that?
Actually, yes. Yeah, that's.
It's like unfolding the matchbook.
He's got the 5x7 version.
It's one of those greeting cards that opens and something pops out of it.
Man,
Yeah,
as long as it doesn't start talking to you. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Greg. I am the Director of Poker and Sports and Racing Sports?
You're getting there.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep adding hands.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
You'd like to add a couple more hands, right?
Sure, why not?
And then a couple more commas with to go with that?
Absolutely, why not?
All right, where are we at this hand? Dan, King, Queen of Spades. He's in the blind. Looks like Danielle opened to 80. This is back to that I know what you know that you know what I know. You're going to raise light on the button. I'm going to 3-bet you out of the blind because that's
the game.
It's basic poker
That's
101, right? Yes.
Open 3-bet, no limit hold.
Yeah. You don't have a hand because you're just playing your position. But it's interesting because he still had the blinds behind him. Is Dan the button this time?
No, he's in the small blind.
He's in the small blind. Yeah, okay, there he is. All right, we had a couple. We had the 40 on. Okay, that makes sense now. All right, and Danielle gives up the king 10.
This is 3 pots in like the last orbit and a half that Danielle has opened and been forced to fold without seeing a flop. That's frustrating. It's really frustrating.
But she's got some champagne there to help her, get over the frustration.
That looks like a Bellagio cocktail, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
That's not served in the rebuy cups.
Other than Mikey, have we seen anybody go into their reload cups?
Yeah, a couple.
I know Dan did for sure.
Dan topped off. Mikey obviously topped off, unfortunately. Yeah. The one thing I thought was really funny, I was talking to Brandon earlier today, and he said, I'm really actually thinking about just sitting with what's the minimum going to be? I said 500. He's like, maybe I'll just sit down with 500 to start and just rip it at my first opportunity. He ended up choosing not to, but
it's kind of hard when you get to the table and you know everybody at the table and you know the caliber of players there and they've all got $2,000 stacks. Are they going to allow you to rip into them for 500?
Well, yeah. I mean, you just hope that you can derive an advantage by them getting.
You're
stuck
hoping
in a
for the
spot where
5-6 of clubs and the 7-8 of clubs flop and.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that you can catch people in the weird spots where they've 3-bet to a weird number relative to your stack, where they're forced to call off with hands they wouldn't call off for 2,000. Obviously. One
thing we got to tell everybody too: make sure when you come to Bellagio, you get your M Life card. All right. If you've never been to the MGM properties before, please make sure you get an M Life card. We give you $2 an hour to play for food comps. So for every hour you play, you get $2 in food comps. If you play in Bobby's room, you're playing that level, we will give you $50 worth of free food no matter how long you play.
If you're playing in Bobby's room.
If you're playing in Bobby's room, right, yeah.
open-ended versus trips going into
Yeah, we got
this
a big
river.
hand brewing here in Dallas.
Brick.
And the brick.
Can't imagine Mike.
Does Mike think ace is good? Ace high is good here, though.
I
I mean,
doubt it.
not when he gets called by Brandon, right? On the turn.
So Brandon on Twitter yesterday said, "Guys, watch so you can make fun of how badly I play." And we know that's not the case with Brandon.
That's
'cause
funny.
he's a pro,
That's funny
and
because
that was what he said to everybody.
Danielle came to me and said, "Don't make me look bad." So yeah.
So I think this is a good time to give to shout out to our partners over in corporate.
Yes.
That is
We
Lavelle Walker and Corey Nebel.
How come Corey didn't get in the game tonight?
Corey, we got
He had a
to
date
check
or
out our
something, right?
test stream. Yeah, so there's a funny story. So Corey texted me earlier. He's been helping us with this project for months now to help us get this off the ground. So we really want to thank those guys. So Corey, I'm going to tell the story. He had a date this evening, and he canceled so he could watch our live stream.
Wow. I hope the date's not watching the live stream too.
No chance. If so, we outed him. He claimed it. He said, and I quote, "I have family in town." But then he said, "I hope the stream is worth it."
Corey, we consider you
so,
family too.
yes.
Thank you very much. Yes, you are part of our Bellagio family.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
make
anyway,
sure
so
you
big
get
shout out to the guys in Interactive that helped us. They do a lot of things with the Play MGM app and this Twitch project. So this would not have been possible without them. So personally, I need to thank them, as we all do, and they're going to help us moving forward as we grow this. Again, our plans here: we're going to run 5 streams. We're going to shut it down for the summer. It's going to give us a chance to evaluate what we've done on the stream, what people want to watch. So if you have any suggestions, send it to us, and then we're going to come back.
And
after
you want to send it to us, poker@BellagioResort.com.
Yep.
And again,
or Twitter. Hit us up on Twitter at Bellagio Poker.
Or Dallas Scott 73 at the Great Hardini. One of the things I also want, again, if you come to Bellagio, please, or any MGM property, get your M Life card. One of the things, you get $2 an hour for food comps. If you play 75 hours, you get the park for free, and for the entire year. If you play 150 hours, you get free valet for the year. Use that M Life card to your advantage. If you're playing a slot machine, put the card in the slot machine. Earn your tier credits and your points. It's to your benefit. If you want room discounts, you want free rooms, that's how you get that. But we do offer Bellagio room poker rates. We have those throughout the year. You just call into the Bellagio poker room, ask for Penny or Colette, whichever one's here that day, and they tell them when you're coming to town. We only require 6 hours worth of play every day, and they will get you set up. All right, we got an interesting hand here.
Dennis is opened, and Mikey 3-bet him, and Dennis is deep in the tank here.
I think Dennis is tired of being 3-bet by Mikey.
Yeah.
Because Mikey, this is probably the 3rd or 4th time that Mikey's done it. Is he going to take a stand here and be like, okay, I'm done with this? Looks like Dennis has been into his little reload cup, too. He's swapped out some orange chips for some black chips there. Mikey has 3-bet him, I think, 3 or 4 times already. Mm-hmm. Mark's 3-bet him a couple times. There comes a point where you don't want to be shuffled around, right? You know you're the out-of-town guy, and you're coming here to show you plays, and he's going to fold the hand there, which is the right decision this time.
He's had a lot of discipline. He's been put in a lot of very difficult positions and has made the right decision.
Yeah. And he really, he's raised with the right hands. You know, he's raised with the small pocket pairs. The ace there, he would think's got to be the best hand, and he's been put in some awkward positions, and he's played them well. He's lost very minimal amounts of money with those hands. A lot of other people could have gone broke a couple of times with those hands.
Yeah.
I've been very
I gotta be
impressed
honest.
with Dennis
If I've got his
that.
set of hands in his seat, I'm probably getting stubborn, putting my foot down, and reaching back into that cup a lot more often than him.
And the only hand that he actually would have won would have been the pocket 5s. But that was a really hard hand to play there.
That was really interesting. And it resulted in the biggest spot of the night, I'm pretty sure, by a long ways.
So Brandon's got ace-5 offsuit. Mikey's got queen-jack. Danielle in the straddle is 10-9-8. She's playing this hand, right? Unless it's 3-4 bet to her, she's going to play. And Dennis has got 10-7 of clubs, and he's great. He got raising chips.
Folds to your button. How do you not open?
Right. No matter what you have here. Yeah. Oh, and this is he's going to get 3-bet by Mark here, right? With the ace king.
Unless Mark tries the same trick twice. Looks like no.
No, Mark 3-bet him at 220
straight away. The difference between the two situations is there was only one live hand.
And behind him, right? And he can't let Danielle or Brandon get pot odds here to call. Is Brandon thinking about calling here with ace-5?
Absolutely.
It's interesting.
Decline.
Danielle's not getting jiggy with a 9-8. and this is the second hand in a row, but probably the fifth or sixth hand tonight that Dennis has
keeps
been
opening his
3-bet.
spots, man.
And of course, this time I think he's just he's playing the poker. He's playing his position. He 3-bets there 10-7. Does he want to get jiggy and try and figure out like? Yeah. Yes, I'm bringing the board jiggy back. I'm bringing it back. Does he want to play this hand against Mark?
Smaller 3-bet this time, is it not?
It is. Do you get to the point where sometimes you feel like you just have to take a stand?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's
I mean,
why.
that's an easy
That's
thing
why
to
I
think
quit
here.
playing no limit hold'em cash.
But we've
games.
seen. I mean, like we said, like John just said last hand. I mean, we've seen some great discipline out of Dennis. I bet we're gonna see. I mean, he's got position. I'm betting here he makes the call.
Got to take a flop.
What do you think, John?
At some point, he has to take
Yeah,
a flop.
that's
I think
a
he's
flop.
gonna. I think he has to. He's gonna. He's
I
gonna.
don't know.
say
I mean,
no, he
No,
lets
he
it go.
folds it. All
Lets it
right.
go.
He's got 10 high.
You know, it's funny. We're talking about being ran over, like that. There was a time we were talking about Sorrel Mizzi earlier. I was playing a tournament with him here in Las Vegas, and unfortunately, he was to my right. He was the button when I was the big blind, and he punished me the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I just got tired of it.
Sure.
You know, between him and I can't remember who. I think it was Doug. I can't think of his last name. They were. I was in between them. And they were just punishing me all night, and I just got tired of it, and I tried to make a stand.
you felt like you were in the basement apartment below the really good party.
Yes, and I was hearing the noise upstairs, and I
Yeah.
couldn't get to the party. So I decided to make a stand against Sorrel. It was the first bluff I ever pulled off against a top-name pro.
Dennis, one time, win this one.
All right.
He's already got a 7
Dennis.
deuce. He's
Come
already
on.
got.
Second one for the night.
He's already got a 7 of deuce.
You've been 3-bet 2 pots in a row. They can't trifecta you.
Well, Danielle's got
Let's
ace
go.
king. The
I
problem is,
I don't care. I don't care. This one's got to be
Oh,
it.
Dennis raising again.
of course he's raising. He got 7 deuce, and he's going to get 3-bet by Danielle. And now he's going to take a stand. I think
Danielle's got nobody behind her. She could just flat here, disguise her hand. Incorrect. She 3 bets.
she 3-bets.
All right, what's Dennis going to do
Dennis, come on.
He got some. It's only $90, and he's got the $350 extra if he wins the hand. I think he's calling here, right?
All right, I'm betting
He's
on
in
the call
position. Yeah, he's calling. Maybe because he's been 3-bet too many times. Maybe he puts in them.
This is 3 consecutive pots now that he's
Opened
opened
and been 3-bet.
3-bet.
And it's probably the 7th or 8th one tonight, and he's had the fold. I think he's calling here with this.
He just 4-bet it.
He 4-bet.
Oh, no.
What does Danielle do here? He's laid down a lot of hands to 3-bets. How does she think, like, ooh, this is a tough spot for
It's a
her?
very small 4-bet. She 5-bets it all. Oh. This guy can't catch a break.
Man, poor guy.
He's done nothing wrong in any of these
Hey,
spots.
listen, I'm going to get, Dennis said he was coming on and taking the pros. Dennis, valiant effort. I mean,
He's been put in some really tough spots tonight.
This is brutal.
and he knows Danielle's aggressive and can make a play there,
Yeah.
and then, just so happens.
It looks like he's got about 500 behind, right? He's got 340 in the pot. And then he's got the he's got the 350 applied. Like if he wins extra the bonus 350.
I think what you're getting at here
Is
is
can we see a call?
you don't fly to Vegas to fold.
Right.
Now, do you? This is here's my argument though. Whoever's in the 1 seat today that gets dealt these hands is just having a rough day.
Yep.
They're just gonna get.
It happens
3-bet.
sometimes.
What's he got left there? About 800, 900?
No, very
They're
low.
about 5.
Yeah, he's put in ballpark of a third of his chips.
Do you think if it wasn't for the extra 350, he's done with his hand, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, for sure. Well,
That's
he
in his mind.
probably doesn't come into the hand originally.
right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean he's put 340.
I always
in
think
his pot,
he's got like
and it looks like he's got
6,
6-ish,
5, 6
6-ish left. So
And then if he outflops her and holds up, he's going to make the yeah. He's been in a bunch of tough spots tonight. It's really and he's played them well and lost very minimal chips in places where he could have went off.
I think our viewers are looking for a call here.
Everybody wants to call.
Yeah,
We're rooting for you, Dennis. And
Yeah,
they were,
and honestly, I think the math you have to include the $350.
Oh,
absolutely.
So I mean that's a bit of an overlay.
right. Because he's going to have 9.
All right,
He's going to have roughly 1,000 in a pot. So he's getting like 1.3 on his hand, right?
It's getting better. He's got to go 500 to win. All right.
500.
Oh, Danielle's stack size is included.
Right.
I was like, how in the world?
No. So, I mean, Danielle's bet is essentially
Seattle Pro says call.
Now, this is one of these spots where, I don't know, I'm just rooting for him. Put it in.
We want to thank everybody for watching us on Twitch tonight. I mean, I know you have a lot of things to do.
Chip Avalanche has a question. How is in the universe this is an over tank? He probably not aware they're playing the 7-deuce game. So if
he's already won a hand with the 7-deuce.
Yeah,
so he
but he
knows
can win another one.
I mean, I think mathematically it's the right call, right?
The opportunity for the biblical slow roll at the end of this hand as the bonus is just so good.
Hey, if they run it twice and he wins the second board, does he still get the 350?
Oh, that's an excellent question.
Because
that's a great question.
Oh,
he's
yes! Yeah, all right, that is. We knows he got the best hand. Let's see a flop. The Twitch world is rooting for you, Dennis.
What a garbage flop.
No, I think.
That's it for that sand. They decided.
No, wait. Does he have a club? Oh, she's got the ace of clubs though.
No, only 3 clubs on board. Only 3 clubs on board. So
Danielle
Danielle wins the pot.
Oh, these spades. I thought.
I'll give him credit. I mean, Dennis is in there gambling. He's been playing tough all night.
Yeah.
And
he's been in some really tough spots. I think he's played them very well though.
It's amazing when he gets put in a bunch of tough spots, and then the spot where he has to put his foot down, and he's still right to do it. He's got the 7-deuce.
Oh man, Dennis has played tough. I hope we get to have Dennis back on the streams. He's been fun to watch. Like you said, he represented himself not as a pro against like some of these guys, but I hope he's had a great time playing. Fortunately, that's probably not the outcome he was looking for.
He's going to reload here too. Yeah. We're going to get Dennis some more chips.
So in the chat, I want to give a shout out to friend of Bellagio Poker Room that's on watching us, Benton Blakeman.
Yeah, Benton, what's up,
Benton? What's going on, man? We've seen your comments, and you want to play. Shoot us an email. And get us on Twitter, Benton. We'll get you in a game for sure.
Benton is my good luck charm.
Is your good luck charm?
No, for real. He was kind of sweating me a little bit. Last summer, I was playing one of the World Series of Poker Deep Stacks.
Oh, the dailies?
Yeah, the dailies. He sweated me a little bit. We talked about some hand play, and I won $33,000. Thanks to some information I got. So
that's great.
Benton, he's my good luck charm.
Those are a fun structure. It's flip coins repeatedly for 14 hours over one day for all the.
It is by far the toughest tournament I've ever played in my entire life.
Really?
Because at some point.
What's that? What tournament?
The daily deep
stack at the World Series of Poker. Because from the time we hit the money.
Oh, you've got
nobody
big blinds average.
Yeah. I mean, you're watching guys just do things that are so, like, a guy raises, he's all in for 3 big blinds, and you're folding your big blind because you only have 5.
Yeah.
I got lucky enough that I got aces in versus kings. We were the 2 biggest stacks at the tournament time, and my aces held up. But I got a lot of good information from Benton. Benton's a great regular player here. Benton, when you come back, grow the beard. Come back with the beard.
Yeah. We look forward to seeing you again soon, sir.
And we got the shout out back from Benton. He gave us a shout there.
Again, thank everybody for watching on Twitter. It's been great. And remember, like, if you're in Vegas, you're coming out for the summer, you like to bet sports, download the Play MGM app on your Android or your Apple phone. You can bet anywhere in the state of Nevada.
CN Poker LV. Stream looks great. Great job, guys. Dallas and team. Thank you, CN. Appreciate it. See you next week. We'll definitely get to tune in for the next 4 streams rather now.
Yeah,
this one's almost in the books.
This has been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's a blast. We've had a good time.
We put in a lot of work, a lot of test streams.
Let me take over that one because I want to give a big shout out to the team. There's guys behind the curtain, if you will, that have made this happen, along with the corporate guys. So really, as a leader of this department and of this room. Making this happen was not easy. It would spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I couldn't be more proud of the team that's put this together. So this would not be possible without all the guys here.
Let's give Matt and Jason a shout out. They're actually running the technical side, all the screen all the camera angles and stuff were done by Jason.
Matt Lutterby, Jason Marinucci, you know these guys from a lot of times, and then not with us tonight, but Leslie Michaelis has helped us quite a bit. And then out on the floor, our ops manager, David Hutton. And then, again, Harry Corvesi, one of our dealers, has been watching the moderation.
Frank is out there. Frank is doing moderation.
Frank as well, sorry. Anyways, like I said, guys, I couldn't be more proud to make this happen.
It takes a lot of people to put this together.
Sure.
Like, it sounds like it's just the three of us,
right.
But it generally takes us 8 to 10 people to get this together every once a week. And it's been a lot of learning and working and figuring out bugs.
Sure.
I mean, we started this back in January, so it's been a lot of work for us. But it's been a lot of fun. We've learned a lot of things.
Yep.
That's the
we've
first
had a good
time.
And again, this is our first night on the air. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna do going forward.
Yes.
We're gonna eventually, once we figure out some logistics, a big comment people made to me: are you gonna have players on as announcers? Yes, we cannot wait to have some players on as announcers. We got a couple
Ali
things we got to work out.
is gonna come, do
there
some
we
stuff
go.
with us.
Jimmy
Friggy wants to be on. There's so many. We actually have a list of players who want to come in and talk about the hands.
So we're looking forward to that. Probably not going to happen until after we shut down for the summer, but hopefully we're going to come back and have some commentary with some people who are much better at poker than the three of us. But in the meantime, you got us, and we're happy to be here. And again, this is exciting for us to get our first stream off the air. And then we got 4 more Wednesday night, every Wednesday night for the next 4 weeks.
Yep.
And then we're going to shut down because everyone's busy with the summer. And then we're going to come back after the.
Danielle's got queens here.
On the button.
Dennis has got deuce. Dennis just limps here. Or is Dennis the blind?
No, Dennis is up front and just calls the 10.
With deuces.
Danielle's 50-ish on the button.
This is another one of those hands where Danielle's raised a lot of button hands, right?
How about the queen deuce deuce for justice one time?
Yeah, one time. Let him get back in there. Did she 3-bet him?
No.
Yeah, she 3-bet.
No. Dennis limped.
Oh, she
Danielle
raised.
opened her button. Dennis calls.
Oh, he called. I'm sorry. I thought it said he folded.
Yeah. No.
Deuce.
Queen deuce.
Deuce, rag.
Queen deuce deuce.
If Danielle continuation bets here, does he call thinking she's got ace, king, ace, queen, deuces are good? Nope, he does not. I think she just told Nate he was the greatest dealer in the world. I think that's what she said.
That is the slept shout out that we've had for these last few is Nathan.
Yeah.
Well done dealing.
I think that it's been interesting. I feel bad for Dennis because he came all the way here to play this game, and if it's through no fault of his own, he's been in some really tough spots. And I'm actually curious.
Here's what we do. I think we need to get Dennis back on the next couple of weeks if he wants to come out and play.
100%. And I'm curious to hear what Dan O'Brien has to say when he watches the stream about those hands and how he would have played those hands or if he would have played them differently. Dan O'Brien is probably one of the most well-known pro tournament players in the world.
Sure.
I'm curious to get his – and that's why we're going to have some of these pro players come in here. Yeah. Because we're curious to hear how they may have done something differently.
Absolutely.
Or if they just feel like there are just days when you're just in bad spots and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And that might have been one.
Of course, and that's for sure going to happen.
Dan's got pocket eights. Who raised here? Brandon raised 130. So let's see.
Oh, the live 40 was on again. Brandon opens it under the gun.
And the eights folded there. Dan folded eights there. To the undergun raiser. I can see where he's at there. I'm curious to see how some of these other, like I said, big name pros that like to watch these streams and stuff, how they would have played some of these hands and where it can help Dennis out in the future. If he hears from these guys and say, hey,
absolutely.
These are some things that maybe are spots where you could have done things differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are fortunate enough that we work in rooms with some of the best poker players in the world. John and I both play poker.
We get a lot of
so
feedback.
if I ever play a hand in a tournament or in a cash game that I'm not sure, I go and talk to these guys. They're always willing to give it some information. None of them want to give up all the information, but they're always willing to give us some of the information.
Out. We've got a lot of resources, and again, like you said, they might help Dennis out. It may just say, hey, you played great. That's how you should have played the hand. You're just in a tough spot, and then he's got more confidence going forward. For sure.
Brandon gets
no
love.
Two aces here.
No love.
Nothing.
Just folds all the way through.
You don't get anything we're winning with aces except the small pot. No extra $350. We need to find a different game. We play 7 deuce. Maybe we need to play 8-3 or Jack 9 or something like that. Find a
I
nine.
hope. I mean, we're
The
not
two
gonna,
kings on the A-side board. Good luck.
7-2 has been fun to watch, though.
It
I'm
is.
not
It
gonna
has been
lie.
fun.
It's I hope
Everyone,
we,
even
see
our
it
test streams were
Yeah.
amazingly fun. It's amazing what people do
on the live streams
when they're
every good
on,
time.
when they know they're live. You know, it's on. Other people can watch. They play a lot of different hands, a lot of different ranges. They like to play against their friends when they have friends on the table. Tonight's been pretty serious, though, compared to some of the practice streams they have. They've been pretty serious. Mark was really aggressive early on. I played a monster pot against Mike that he disguised his hand masterfully and put Mike in a awkward situation where he was kind of forced to call there because he couldn't have put Mark on the hand he had. But Mark's aggression won him a lot of pots tonight.
We got a 5-way flop here.
Queen Jack looks like the lead.
We've got a pair, another pair.
Top pair, middle pair.
A weird gutter and a back door. Ooh, front door or back door flush draw might come in now for JJ. This was just limped 5 ways, right?
And then checked around on the flop,
yeah,
right?
the live 20 was on and Brandon checked it.
What's Christian do here?
He's got
But
4
because
people
he
behind him and just is going to call. Okay.
Brandon's got to think a 10's good there. Christian probably thinks a jack's good there. But now they've both given JJ the opportunity to raise the pot here, right? Because they'd
JJ's
all checked
raising
with the
with the nut
flop
flush draw?
with the flush draw.
Okay.
He got an overcard in the flush draw, and he might think his ace is good. He might think he can make king queen fold there with a big raise. Mark's gone. Mikey's gone. Brandon's gone. What's Christian do here with top pair? He's been pretty snug tonight, so I'm going to say he folds. I don't know what hand he puts JJ on, though, that JJ couldn't bet the flop and raise the turn there, unless he thinks he's got the 9-8, right? Or maybe flop the set. Because it was a limp pop, so it's 100% possible. And he turns over the 1 card. Tell me he turned over the deuce of clubs.
Or yeah, no,
No,
deuce of clubs.
right,
Tray
right,
clubs on
the
the
board,
turn.
yeah.
Got it backwards.
We've talked about this before, about using your reputation at the table, about being a wild player or being a tight player. If Christian plays back at him there, can he win the pot?
It's very possible.
And because we haven't seen him do that tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The one pot I can remember when he was the king jack and he just check called the board, didn't put any bets in. And then we were guys who are actually none of these guys have been really loose tonight or created a lot of action. Those guys get paid when they actually make a big hand.
Well,
because nobody ever puts them on it.
I mean, we've had a couple very active players, and Danielle's opened a lot of pots. Mark Iole has opened and 3-bet a lot of pots. Brandon's opened a couple from early position, but every single person in this lineup is going to open their button when it folds to them.
Of course.
You know, like.
And Danielle's been in a
85%
position where she had to fold a couple times because Dan O'Brien did the right thing and 3-better with hands.
Got another mystery hand here. Second nut flush draw for Danielle. 2 overcards.
Now
And
remember, Dan didn't seem too happy about the hand that he lost to Danielle earlier in the night. Do you think that the way
Weighs
that
on him
hand
at all?
plays on how he plays this hand here? Danielle's got the second nut flush draw and 2 overcards. Does she raise? No, she's just going to flat. She's looking for the flush. But Jack comes off on the turn. What does she do? Queen of hearts.
number 2 achieved.
If Dan checks, she's betting, right?
She's first, so
Oh.
check. Brick on the river.
Now she has to lead here, right?
Now, can Dan have checked back with the ace of hearts here? The answer is
no.
no. Bet fold.
But if he had checked back with the ace of hearts there, that would have been a great play, right? Because now he gets Danielle.
He
I
gets
think
one
that-
more bet out of her.
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure. Now we're almost done here with our live stream tonight. Again,
We're
we're
shutting it
every
down
Wednesday
here in a
night, 7
few
p.m.
minutes, couple more
Pacific
hands for the
time.
night.
We want you guys to all come out, hang out with us, watch the game.
Last orbit. Sounds like this is the last
Orbit for the evening, and again, come check us out next week. We're going to have a 2-5-10 game. We're still working on some players for the game. I know Ryan LaPlante is committed. He's coming out to play.
He's coming out for a couple of weeks, right?
Yep,
He's going
for
to do
sure.
a couple of weeks.
He wants to do some commentary with us in the
I
future.
think Ryan won.
I think he won a bracelet.
I know he won one brace last year, but I think he missed the record last year for most cashes in the WSOP by 1.
Like in a
season, summer?
For one summer?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Not lifetime, okay.
No.
That's a big number.
No, but like his cashes for the WSOP last year was like 11 or 12, and he missed the record by 1.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and he
had a nice little run when he was here. He played a lot of events here at 5 Diamond.
Yeah. He last December he won some money. Yeah, Ryan had a great summer last year. I can't remember if he won 1 bracelet or 2 bracelets. Really nice guy. A really, really nice guy. Always willing to sit down and talk poker with people. Loves to teach the game. We're going to have a lot of fun with Ryan next week.
Won a $500 PLO bracelet, says Ben. Huge field event, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Is that what? That's what Ryan.
How many cashes did he have last year? Anybody in the?
It's
in
11.
the chat?
It was 11 or 12.
Take a look at it.
Yeah, that's a ton.
Yeah, I know he missed the record by 1. I remember reading his Twitter feed, and he actually played another.
You got to put in some volume too.
Yes, yeah. He actually ended up playing events that he wasn't going to play because he wanted that record.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a tough record not to get though. Like when you're that close. Like Jason Mercier last year, he won 2 bracelets and then got the second place. Like looking for the 3rd bracelet.
The thing that's crazy about it is because of the structure of all those events. They're 2 days,
right.
3-day events. The more caches you have, the more time is eaten up that you
cannot play in the other.
Like
right.
You play less events because you go deep in some.
Right.
And obviously, no one's upset. Damn it! I made day 3 of event again.
Right.
No one's upset.
Right.
But it does prevent you from playing as many as you would otherwise.
Yeah. It's I love that time of year for us. It's amazingly busy.
It goes by quick.
Yes.
And
then we all go on vacation for 2 weeks.
Don't try to find us in August.
Yeah. The room might actually close down because there's nobody to work. Yeah, it's tough.
Our friend Sean McCormick from Daria LaPlante cashed 12 events in 2016 in the WSOP.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable. So he'll be here with us next week.
Yeah.
Come play on the stream, so we'll get him some airtime. Again, he won just a event in Vegas not too long ago too. He's on fire right now.
Yeah. He's a phenomenal player. He's another Minnesota guy. So representing Minnesota well. Danielle's from Minnesota. Minnesota's got.
Oh, there you go. You just have to drop that Minnesota.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's my home. I mean, it's interesting though because there are a lot of great no-limit players from Minnesota, and you can't play no-limit in the state. It's against the law. It's a limit state.
You have to play that timed tournament thing
they do now.
Yeah,
and only one plays that. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing.
That's such an insane subverted gaming law thing that they do.
Yeah.
What we're talking about, if anybody's not aware, is they basically do a 2-hour tournament where you have as many chips as the buy-in is. So, like they say it's a $200 tournament. You buy – you pay $225 including the VIG. You get $200 in chips. You play for 2 hours, and then it's insta-chopped. However many chips you have is how much cash you get back. So you're basically playing a cash game for 2 hours without actually playing a cash game because the maximum
is the maximum
$100
$100 now. But they have to change the blinds. So like if it's a 3, they do them 300, 500,000, 5,000.
Oh, so the blinds must increase in 2 hours.
So like if you're buying in for the 500 one, it's a 2.5. So you start with the blinds at 2.2, and then an hour in they go to 2.5 or something like that. So you have to because it has to be a tournament, so the blinds have to increase. And generally, what happens though is after the 2 hours, they just continue to play, and then so it's kind of a weird scenario. But you can reload as many times as you want, in that it's not like you're restricted to X amount of re-entries. And Canterbury Park's the only place that does that in Minnesota. But it's kind of a interesting dynamic. They play a lot of like 2-100 spread, which is
so there are the spread limit games the same way that just run all the time though.
Yeah, the spread limit games run like a regular limit game or no limit game, but it's capped at. Which is kind of a bad spot when you got a $600 pot and you can only bet $100 into the pot. You can't take anybody off their hand.
You go from playing a small no limit game to a big limit game at the end.
Yeah. I go home. I'm home every couple of weeks, so like I play those quite a bit out of Canterbury. They're a lot of fun to play though. And they play PLO the same way with those spread limits. That's kind of an interesting thing.
This might be a big pot here. Brandon's open and Christian defends. Christian flops 3 10s, and Brandon has flopped the nut flush draw.
Is Christian going to get hyped with some chips here, right? Because he hasn't done a whole lot.
It's a small bet, $30.
It's
That's a
$125
check raise at a Christian. Brandon's not going anywhere.
No, he's going to call with the flush draw.
Just flats it.
The ace of diamonds can't come off, so what's a good card on the turn? Queen of hearts.
That's pretty much a blank.
Yep.
I mean, the Jack-9 gets there. I don't know if either player's worried about the other having that at this point.
I think Brandon's probably more worried about the Queen-10, so his diamonds are no good. Christian bets 130, so it's about a third of the pot size bet. It's kind of a weird spot for Brendan, right? Because he knows that Christian's been tight. He calls out. What's he calling out of the blind there with to the pre-flop raise? But he's going to call him.
I mean, you never know. Brandon might have him dead pegged on the ace-10 off or ace-10 suited.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter anymore.
Irrelevant.
Yep. The thing is that there's no bluffing here for Brandon too, right? Because the 5 of clubs or 5 of spades does nothing for his hand.
No, I mean, he's not going to try and represent the Jack-9, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I was going to say, I bet he checks here. See if he can get a bread out of
Yeah,
Brandon.
it gives him the opportunity to lose, win one
Question
more
is, will he get a bet out of Brandon?
Yeah, it's the only way he can win. I'm guessing he doesn't feel like he has the best hand here. Not going to bet the ace high for value.
Well, do you think that maybe Brandon thinks that Christian had a smaller flush draw, and the ace high flush draw is good because he checked?
Oh,
the
he gets. There it is.
There it is. He was going to make
That's
a pot size
great
bet, right?
check by Christian.
He's not folding here,
It's
right?
the
He
only
cannot
way-
fold here,
it's
right?
the only way he gets more money in this pot. I mean, you're beat by 2 hands. I mean, I guess if he opens the 10-8, good for him. But you're beat by the
he's
Queen
gonna
10, you're
call
beat
here.
by the Jack-9.
Great check to get him to.
Or the
just
pocket
bet
eights, the
there.
pocket fives. There's a couple. I mean, but I think he's calling here, right? He's never folding. He might raise.
I don't see him
It
doing
should just
either.
be a check call.
Yeah, there it is.
It is.
If you're beat, you're beat.
Well done. Nice hand. Wow.
Yeah,
wow from Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon's like
Didn't give him
okay,
credit
yeah,
for that
no,
much.
No,
Yeah, I don't think he saw that coming.
no.
No, I
I think he put him on a smaller flush draw and thought maybe when he checked there that the flush didn't get ace high would be good. He
Sean McCormick says if he folds, I quit my job in all poker for life. No, that was well. I think he got the maximum out of Brandon there. So well played him.
We got a couple more hands. We're going to end the stream tonight. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out and watching. Don't forget to download the Play MGM
I think our
app.
producers told us we got 2 more hands to say.
2 more hands?
Yep.
Okay. The Bellagio Cup, July 13th through 18th, $10,000
Yeah,
buy-in.
check it out. That's the last chance to get even if you've had a rough summer, as we call it, the summer saver.
Yeah. And of course,
I shouldn't say that we call it. Kev Math called us the summer saver for Bellagio Cup. Last high limit event of the year, going to be taking place July 13th through 18th. The main event starts the 14th. 10K buy-in, 3 days of registration, extra 3 levels compared to 5 diamonds. We do things a little different for Bellagio Cup than we do for 5 diamond. And come see us. Make sure to come play. If this is the one event I don't mind. You got a good excuse if you're still in the main.
right.
If you're not, then you got to come see us.
You got to be here, right. It's the second largest event of the summer, and it's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun. Again, don't forget to get your M Life card when you come here. Get your $2 an hour for food comps. Use it for everything you do. You get 25 points for every dollar you spend in the casino. Think about that. You get 25 to 1 on the M Life card. So if you're going to the gift shop, use your M Life card to get the points. If you're going anywhere in the building, use your M Life card, get your points. It helps you out get comp food, rooms. We do have poker room rates. Call the Bellagio Poker Room and ask for Colette or Penny. Again, and then the M Life card. And download the Play MGM app. This is the last hand of the night here, guys?
Last
I
hand of
think
the
we've
evening.
got one more after this.
No, this is producers are saying, we got one more hand.
Yeah. One more hand,
One more
okay.
hand for the evening, and then we're going to shut it down for the night. Come check us out next week, Bellagio POTS. Follow us on Twitter at Bellagio Poker. Get you some details.
Is there a
coming up for the
live
stream.
80 on this pot by Danielle? Because that's what it looks like.
Wow.
Yeah, Danielle made it the 80 and the.
Yeah, so
On the straddle.
the 20, the 40, the 80 were live, and Daniel opens the 2 5s to $250.
Oh, and
Surrender.
Danielle is. Now, again, at the Bellagio, you can straddle a straddle here. It's one of our rules. The bigger the limit, the bigger the no limit game, the more they like the straddle. The straddle creates a lot of action. Normally, if you come in the room, we only have 2-5 or 5-10. For the stream, we do the 3-line games because everybody's putting the straddle on anyway.
Right.
So we decided to
We
put
modified the game just a little bit over a normal game.
We decided to make them straddle, and then they're restraddling and restraddling again. They went 20, 40, 80 there with Danielle. All right, this will be our last hand of the night. Let's see if we get any good action out of this one. So the players don't know that it's the last
Danielle's
hand of the
got
night.
the
40
on
on
it,
it,
right?
You know, just the old $120 worth of straddles.
Straddles, right. All right, we got Dan's got king 10. Oh, he's going to fold. Is Mikey going to raise his friend Danielle? No, folded
Brandon's got the jack deuce.
Is
Otherwise,
Straddle going to win it for
Danielle's
the end of the
gonna
day?
get a walk. What a way to
Whoa.
win. What a
Oh,
way
walk to
win.
end the night.
We were looking for some action. All right, again, thank you guys for coming on out and watching Bellagio Poker on the Strip. Again, if you want to be a part of this, hit us up on email at poker@Bellagio Resort. I'm Dallas Scott, my partner John Harden. Say something, John.
It was my pleasure to be here.
Our director of poker and race and sportsbook, Mr. Craig Lump.
Dallas, thank you very much again. This was a blast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, we're going to run a couple more streams, shut it down for the summer, come back, and do it all again after the busy season's over. We look forward to thank you for tuning in. Anybody, if you've got any suggestions, anything you want to see, please let us know on Twitter or hit us up at poker@Bellagio.com.
If there's some players you want to see play on the stream,
yeah, absolutely.
let us know. You know, maybe.
Yeah, we've heard some call-outs tonight for.
I wonder. I bet we can get Phil in here. Phil Ivey comes in and plays live. I want to get Phil in one of these like 2, 5, 10 games. I bet he gets in there and gambles it up for you guys. You guys want to win some money off of Phil Ivey? Like maybe we can work that out for you. So if there's somebody you want to see in the, on the stream, let us know. Just hit us at poker@Bellagio Resort. And again, thank you guys for coming out to Bellagio Poker on the Strip.